Good morning. Jenny is connecting and can't hear you yet.
Hello?
Hello. Oh, geez. I
Oh,
unplugged something. Hi. Can you hear me? Oh,
fine. I might turn you down. Wearing my hat today because I'm having a crazy hair
are you?
day. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It was originally cut kind of uneven, where it's kind of long on one side and short on the other. And I was
yeah.
growing out and I finally got long enough on this shorter side to where I could just cut it all to be kind of even.
Oh.
And I cut it myself because I'm cheap.
I cut my own hair too, like for years. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
with
similar.
you.
I cut Jerry's hair and Jada's hair. I don't cut Jack's hair because his dad does it. But anywho,
Sorry, I
so
saw
it's
the
all
cat
kind of
run by in the.
jacked up. It's I don't know. I guess it's more obvious on shorter hair. I don't know. So it's not bad. It's just I didn't do anything with it today. So
Well, that's cool. Your hair always looked so good when it was short. Like either way, I look really stupid with short hair. I wish I could do it like when it's hot here, but I don't think I would ever cut it again.
I think the shortest I've ever seen it was during like my so-called life series, and you had the whole Claire Danes.
Yeah, I did for like a few years.
Mhm.
I just got that one day and then stuck with it for like a long time. And then after the Navy, and then I got one bad haircut and I haven't wanted to cut it since. Like I just went home and cried. It was so bad because I'd had my hair really not this long, but it was pretty long. And then I went to a hairdresser who was going to style it and she cut it real short and then she thinned it out like so much to where my ponytail was like barely a ponytail. And I
Oh,
just went home and I cried and then the next day when I went to class, because I was in college at the time, the girl sitting next to me said, "You had really long hair, didn't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was this long yesterday."
no.
So I haven't cut it, and I haven't wanted someone else to cut it since then.
So
Yeah.
that's what happened to me. Well, I guess this was before we started doing this, but my hair was like kind of down to here,
Oh, no.
and I cut it. And I was like, you know what? Go ahead and cut it because a lot of it was dead hair because I had my hair highlighted and it was over processed. So
Oh.
over time, it just got like really gross. So I wanted to cut it. I knew I was going to cut it, but I didn't realize I was going to have it cut that short. Like there's those pictures on the windows of those salons,
Yeah.
and it's just like I want it like that. And she's like, okay. I knew it was a bad sign when she brought the clippers out, and I was like, oh geez.
Whoa. Did
And
she
so
shave part of it? Wow.
it was a lot shorter than I wanted it. I mean, like my friends liked it, but I was like, I cried. I cried.
Oh.
I told them, called up one of my friends, and I was like, I have a Justin Bieber haircut. I hate it.
Oh.
But it's finally
That
grown.
makes
It took
sense.
9 months of growth, and I finally cut off like a good inch or so. Just
Oh. That's a
yeah.
good bit of growth, it seems like, in 9 months. Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Never
Hmm.
again. I'm never again.
Yeah.
It's when they style it. And no, nothing wrong with stylists. I have
No.
friends who are stylists and they're fantastic. Um, and I just you put your hair in the hands of these stylists, and I can't imagine how hard that must be, as far as okay, she says she wants this, but this is what her face looks like, and this is the
Yeah.
texture of her hair. This is how it's gonna end up looking like, or we're gonna have to make some adjustments. And then it's nothing like, at least for me, it was nothing like what I expected. But
Oof.
she was probably doing what her best to get it as close to the style that I wanted, but it was a lot shorter. So
Oof.
all I can say is I don't know, if you're a new stylist, maybe try instead of going way short, just cut back and see if they like it, and then cut back more if if they feel a
Yeah.
little shorter.
I think that's pretty universal that people or everyone I know, like girl wise, has been afraid to go short, like even without having hair that long. Because Zoe just cut hers really short and she wanted to do it for a really long time. And she was really sure and she knew what she wanted. But then, like, when the time came, she got really unsure and was like, I don't know, it's really short. And it is. It's a really big, big shift and a big change, and it feels really different, and it really changes the way that, like, her face is framed, so kinda how she looks, and she got really nervous, and then she got really sad even though she liked it, she was sad about it for a couple of days even. And I had a friend named Maya in the martial arts class that she and I both did, and she had just like a big, tall red mohawk, like that tall, and the
Yeah.
sides of her head shaved. And I asked her about it, and she said that she had shaved her entire head and that she had wanted to do it really badly. And that she wept every night for like 3 weeks after she did it because she missed her hair. And like when she looked in the mirror, she didn't recognize herself. And she said it was hard. But then she loved it. And now she's kept it that way and like has done crazy cool mohawks. And I kind of wish I had the gumption to do that, because some people who are adventurous with their hair, like, get to do
Mhm.
some really exciting, cool stuff, but I've just gotten so attached to mine. Like, I'm glad Zoe's doing that and that she was brave enough to do that, because it does take a degree of bravery, you know?
Yeah, and
Like
trust.
yeah,
And a lot of trust.
totally. That was a big thing too, like, she was trying to find pictures of exactly what she wanted, and she was like, "How can I tell her what I want?" And I said, "Just get as many pictures as you can, because that's gonna work so much better than explaining it to her." But she was really worried about them not knowing, or she really wanted them to know what she wanted, you know?
Yeah.
So and it turned out good, like, yay, but she still missed it. It's funny like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I totally missed my hair. Like, as soon as I walked out, it was like tears, just all these
Oh.
tears. I was
Oh.
like, I cried the whole way home. I got home and I was crying to Jerry, and I was like, "Why did I do that? This is such a bad idea."
Oh.
And it's not like I haven't had my hair short before. I've had it like way shorter. I had it like, remember Halle Berry style short.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and
right.
that was fine, but this particular haircut, mm-mm. It
'Cause
was
it was asymmetrical kind of, and then part of it was
maybe, and it
shaved
was
in the back?
shaved. Yeah, I just it was a step beyond what I was a step beyond my comfort zone, I guess. But I did it. It grows back, you know, it it's hair, it'll grow back. It just takes time.
Yeah, that was ultimately what I told Zoe too, like, even if it's terrible, it'll feel bad for a while and then it'll grow back, it's not like other stuff. It'll recover, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll get back to where it was, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aw. Did it make you sad when you cut it today?
No, I no, I cut it, I guess over the weekend.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
it was maybe, I don't know, the last few days, I cut it. I mean, like, I wasn't very exact about it. I was just like, "Yeah, that looks good." I just wanted to get the dead hair and dead ends off. It wasn't even really dead. It just needed a trimming, that's all.
Yeah.
Because 'cause it's
Just
been 9 months.
does it like mine gets shaggy? It's not that it's dead ends, but just the ends start to get real frizzy and stuff. That's
Yeah,
where it is now. I really need to get the ends cut off. But I
yeah,
still get sad when I do it. Like I cry a little and I'm like, why is this even sad? It's really weird. I
yeah.
just wondered if you felt that too.
No, I did. I remember with Jada, because I cut her hair, and
Oh.
I caught her in a particularly bad moment where she didn't feel like getting her hair cut
Oh.
or trimmed, rather. And she kept going like this or this, and then, like, as soon as I had her straight on, it was like her hair, the back of her hairline was like,
Oh.
and so I had to cut it even more. So I ended up taking like 2 inches off maybe. And so that's
Oh.
like a lot of months gone by of hair growth. So I felt bad. And she was upset about it too. And I
Oh,
said,
she
well,
was.
yeah. And I was like, well, maybe next time we just try to do this when we're both in a good state of mind.
Yeah.
It was more of a, oh, I'm free. Sit down in
Yeah.
the chair and let me just trim your hair up. And
Yeah.
it just was not there.
I know, right? Like, that happens to me all the time. Like, I need to get this stuff done. And then the kids have their own agenda. And sometimes, like, especially when Zoe was smaller, it's like, I guess I'm not doing this now because she's just not having it.
Yeah.
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 It has taught me some patience.
I like the tree
Hmm.
back there. Y'all did a good job.
Thank you. But did you notice the candle? Can you? I got it out because of the Kurt Cobain candle story. They
I-
make, huh?
oh, go ahead.
Oh, you could see like
I can see it.
Kurt Cobain. Yeah, there's a store, the Austin Gift Company, and it's got like all these different vendors and local artists have their own little section. It's like 150 something different vendors. And so
Oh,
one of the vendors makes those candles with like a different celebrity in the little Jesus pose. Like there's a Ruth Bader Ginsburg one, there's a Donald Trump one, there's like a Snoop Dogg one, there's just almost any iconic celebrity you can think of. And I found that one.
that's
And then
awesome.
after you reminded me of that story, I was like, oh, the Kurt Cobain candle. Ooh. Does it freak you out? No.
No,
Okay,
no.
good. I would have felt really bad if it did. I'm glad it went over like the fun story I wanted it to be. Oh,
Austin has very cool shops out there.
it
Like there's
does.
a lot of different things.
I'm worried about it with COVID because like
Oh.
so many of those small little shops have been bought out. And I've heard so many
Um,
stories from like other local business owners because we're talking to way more people now because of our little business thing. And they are saying like a lot of people are having to leave where they currently have their business because the rent has suddenly gone up to like 5 6 times what it was. Like the guy we bought our freezer from was paying, he said, I think 1,500 a month for like his warehouse space, and he said it went up to 6,000 a month. So they said,
a
forget it,
month?
we're out of here. Yeah. And that's what's happening to so many people because these really wealthy companies have been coming in, buying up these small businesses that can't hold up, especially now because of COVID. And they're jacking up the rent and then they're clearing them out. And I don't know, maybe putting up condos, you know, it's
It's the
gentrification.
developers that are pushing them out.
Yeah, developers, and it's a lot of people from California, like California and New York got really kind of overrun with people, and California, from what I hear on Joe Rogan, that's where I get most of my news, which might be bad. But he said he came here from California because he said it's starting to suck, and a lot of people are doing that. They're coming to Austin because Austin's really cool, and California is way overcrowded, and there's not the same personal freedoms there that there are in Texas. Like a lot of stuff's on lockdown. And I don't know, maybe we should lock down, maybe we shouldn't, but it's like at a point people have to go live their lives because we're going to starve to death if we don't try to make money. So I don't want
Right.
people to get COVID, but it's great that stuff isn't shut completely down. Whereas in California, if you're waiting tables, you're just out of luck. Like unemployment's ran. I don't know how it is there, but here unemployment's out now. And that I don't know. That has to happen, and that would really suck to just have nothing you can do. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
like.
I think like out here, like what's really taken a big hit with small businesses, yes, obviously that's across the nation, but out here
Yeah.
in Virginia, tourism, you got Virginia
Oh,
Beach,
yeah.
you have Colonial Williamsburg, and um, they just they took a big hit. We had Busch Gardens out here
Oh.
too, so
Oh,
mm,
man. Is
yeah.
stuff like Busch Gardens in danger of closing?
No, but I mean, like they're kind of like up there with Disney. Well, I shouldn't compare them to Disney. Sorry, that's
They
really.
are.
But as far as amusement parks go, like Six Flags and all that. I mean,
Yeah.
and out here, we don't have a lot of big headquarters. At least in Southeast Virginia. I mean, there's a few, but um, yeah. I mean, I think the big, employers out here are, the military. here, Jerry. It's
Something.
yeah, like the military, we have import export of our docks, for the
Oh yeah.
international um yeah, where they bring those big barges in and stuff
Yeah.
and transports. And we used to have the big railways here, and then what are they called? They moved. They just moved to Georgia, northern. I don't know.
The big railways, just like they moved their headquarters.
I guess, or something like that. I mean, it was. I forgot. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I forgot what is it, Northern Pacific. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. That definitely sounds like a railroad.
I don't know. But there's like, yeah,
Um,
sucks. But like small businesses, yeah, that's
yeah,
I've known a lot of photographers who just recently closed their studios
man,
or went into early retirement. So
gosh. It seems like we're crazy to start any kind of business in this type of climate, but I mean, we gotta do something.
yeah,
But yeah, I hope it doesn't become like one big corporate Walmart, you know?
yes,
I hope that there remains like maybe small businesses will make a comeback somehow. I don't know. Through a lot of people like me and Eric being like, we have to do something for ourselves because nothing else is happening. It would be really nice if it like turned into, some silver lining.
yeah,
I have to like think about stuff like that. It's so easy to get into the trap of this is how bad it could get. Because I
yeah,
feel like we kind of did that over here in our house for the first few months, just when it kept getting longer and longer. And then my layoff happened and then Eric's happened. That felt very bad and desperate. But then we sort of had time to accept reality. And at this point, we're like, we got to have something to reach for because sitting around feeling crappy has really sucked.
yeah.
So, I don't know. It does feel crazy to start something new when, like, everything is closing down.
My brother and sister-in-law, I mean, even though they've had their clinic, they've been established, they just opened their new building like the day, I want to say either the day before or the day of, they announced the that COVID is in America, we need to lock
Oh,
down.
really?
It was like within that week that they
Whoa.
did their grand opening, and then COVID happened.
Wow.
They had a bun in the oven. They're doing all right. They're doing okay, just a little slower, but
So they're able to operate their clinic and stuff?
they're still
That's
able
good.
to, but just
With,
not
like,
like,
limitations, and
yeah.
I would imagine people are more reluctant to come out because my older sister, I saw her and my other sister and their husbands and like my mom for Thanksgiving, and her next door neighbor got COVID from going to visit his wife in the hospital. Like he was perfectly healthy and she fell and broke her hip and she had surgery and he caught it going to visit her. And he didn't even have any symptoms, but he found out because when he went to visit her, they tested him and they said, "You got COVID." So, and he was exposed to people while he was there. So then he's been quarantining. And I think he was like, it was the day before his quarantine was up on Thanksgiving. So we left him food on the front porch of his house and stuff.
Mhm.
But like that, I'm supposed to go to the doctor to get like blood work done just for like a routine check. It's been a while and
Mhm.
I don't want to, you know? It's like I feel like there's no life-threatening risk in the blood work that I need to address, and the COVID is, I don't know, it doesn't seem worth the risk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My
But then I
mom
feel
has
really
like my mom. I have to take her to all of her appointments. It's because she can't drive, and she's in a wheelchair. So, uh, she has all these routine appointments that got canceled, rescheduled, or did a telemed kind of appointment
yeah.
because COVID hit. But now that restrictions lifted at the end of the summer, I was able to start taking her to get her back in so her
Oh,
doctors
good.
could see her. But yeah, it is scary because it's just like, am I putting her at risk? Am I putting myself at risk taking her to these doctor's appointments? But at the same time, she desperately needs these because she has her medical conditions are, yeah, like where they, neurological, have to maybe tweak some meds because
Yeah.
they're noticing that her Parkinson's, she's a little more rigid than she needs to be. So they
Mhm.
have to tweak. And then a lot of things yeah, you can do telemed, but it's until you actually have the person in front of you and you can actually examine and feel. And
Yeah.
so it's hard because it's
Yeah.
like, Jerry's he's diabetic, he's over 50, and so he's a high risk category too. So
Does
it's like,
he works from home, right?
yeah, he works from home now too. I don't even know if he's gonna go back to the office.
Like ever?
I'm sure they will, but I don't know.
I think it'll be a
So
while. Like,
it's gonna be a while. So speaking of Joe Rogan, I've been listening to that recent episode in November with I forgot his name. Alton, something Alton. So he was talking about just the addiction to technology and like how are we getting to a point where you know we should be worried about the neuralink between humans and technology and humans becoming obsolete. And his guest was like, no, it's more, I think we're not at that point, it's more of humans becoming more isolated, so because of technology. And so I see everything that's happening because of COVID and how it's affecting people and mental wellness and even health. I mean, like I know I've gained weight since COVID, and finally I was like, Jerry, like we maybe we should just get a treadmill. We found like a cheap one on Amazon, but like
really?
yeah, it's just like maybe we should just do that
I've
because
thought about doing that just because, yeah, I used to go running at like 5 miles every day. And well, it got really hot here, to be fair. And yeah, COVID and
yeah,
not knowing, not wanting to go out. There's so many days I thought it would be amazing to have a treadmill. And then you guys probably get enough cold, rainy, inclement weather to where it would be nice even if it's not COVID.
yeah, yeah. We found it was on Amazon. It was one of the Nordic Track ones, but it was like I want to say around $600, which is still like a big chunk of change.
Those are the Nordic tracks. I remember when I worked at Sears, those were like the top of the line fancy ones
Yeah,
that they rarely sold. I want to, they went for like $1,200 and that was like
yeah, but
20
on
years ago.
average they're like 1,200 and up. And so we got the cheaper stuff. But I
But
mean
it,
it works.
oh, you got it?
Yeah, we ended
Oh,
up
cool.
getting it. And so and because like Jerry's numbers, his sugar levels were going up, and I was like, we got to get this.
So
No,
he's insulin dependent.
no, no.
Okay. He
He's
just has to monitor like what he eats and
he
stuff.
has to monitor what he eats, and really the only great way for him to combat it is exercise. He can
Oh.
regulate his numbers with diet, of course, but also if he exercises, like he's back to normal. He's fine. So
Hmm. Well, that's a really
I
good
guess
reason
for
to have a
anyone.
treadmill too. Well, yeah, exercise is so good for so I hate getting up to exercise. Running's not my favorite, but usually once I'm doing it, it's fine and I'm into it and then I always feel better. But for some reason, it feels so hard to go from the I don't want to. I'm so comfy here. It'd be so
Yeah.
much easier, even though I know I'll get out there and I'll feel better and I'll feel better all day and I'll feel worse if I do this. But that for some reason, it's really hard to get the shove to get going, you know? I
Yeah.
don't know. Do you have that problem? Or is
Oh
it
yes. Oh yes.
okay?
And to be honest, it's been like a week since I got on it. So I
It's
do
been
need to get back on it. And I've just
okay.
been again that bad word busy. I don't know. Yeah,
We've
you know
been
that.
busy too. Oh, yeah. Like I haven't been almost in a week. Hi, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Jenny
Oh, he
said
can't
hi.
hear me, but
No, he can't. He said hi. Kitty, are you watching? There was some arms. Look. Oh no, I can't turn it.
oh,
Yay! Take it back and party. Party time. Okay. What was happening?
I don't know. We were talking about exercise.
Busy. Oh yeah, I haven't
And
been in
busy.
like 4 or 5 days with Doug because the weather got really crappy. It was so rainy on like Friday and Saturday, and then yeah, we were busy. Like
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, and then we were really trying to get our Christmas stuff taken care of earlier this year, and then like my brother-in-law's birthday was Friday, and we've just been busy.
Busy.
Bye, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
And he says bye. He's like, "Anywho, yeah, we've been busy too. I feel like I could definitely get more things done, but I get overloaded sometimes, and like I just need to not do stuff, or I'm gonna yell at people. You
Yeah,
know,
that's how I am.
it's weird. Even if all we're doing is like hanging out, like on Sundays, we've been watching football because
Mm.
both of our teams are doing pretty well. I like the Seahawks, and he likes the Bills. Anyway, but even when we're just sitting on the couch watching football and kind of chatting, at a point, I'm like, I just need to get away and not do this because just all the talking and fielding different stuff.
Annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
You're,
too many things.
so yeah, a lot of sensory overload.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's what happens when I go to the grocery store. We're gonna delivery. Like, we did a lot of delivery, and then I went back yesterday,
Hmm.
and I don't wanna do that anymore. It's just so even before COVID, it's just so much stuff happening, which kinda sounds like a crazy person thing to say, I feel like, when I hear it out loud, but it is. It's just there's the music and the people, and now there's all these personal shoppers everywhere, and it's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I
No,
think
it's not crazy and or what however you want to describe it at all because like I get overwhelmed too. I definitely get overwhelmed when there's a lot of people especially even pre-COVID. Like I didn't like going to large gatherings of people. Like it just gets me nervous. Okay, great example is today. I went to the printer. I stopped by BJ's Wholesale, which is kind of like Sam's,
I
and to go fill up my car. Jerry's like, hey, if you're there, go pick up some coffee. We're running low on coffee. So I grabbed the coffee. I'm about to leave. I'm wearing a mask. Everybody's wearing a mask. But there was like gridlock at the exit door where I'm going out the exit door, but people are coming in. And suddenly there's a lot of people. And I got like stuck. And I'm like sitting there with my coffee. And
oh.
there's just like all these people. And I'm getting like really like nervous.
Oh,
And
you
it,
don't have a cart at all?
no, I don't have a
Oh,
cart.
okay.
I'm just holding the coffee and like just fucking people move. Like just go. And I don't know what the holdup was, but there was just like a lot of people right at the door. I couldn't
Mm.
exit, couldn't go back in. And so I'm just standing there. And there's just like, and I can see more people coming from the parking lot getting to the store. So I'm like holding my breath, even though I'm wearing a mask and they're wearing masks. I'm like holding my breath, waiting for them to come into so they finally, like, I don't know, maybe they were waiting for somebody to get a cart or move a cart or whatever. But finally they start moving into the store, and this lady was like talking really loud on her phone. There's noise of shopping carts, and I'm like holding my breath, and like as soon as they all moved, I like darted out into the parking lot, and I'm like and it's just so like I totally understand. It was just too much. It was too much.
You
And
with
I'm
the
like,
coffee just running. Too much. Too much.
too much. I just no.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I hate stuff like that. I get
Yeah,
very
where you
clustered. I
feel like
didn't used
trapped
to,
and
but
you're like,
yeah.
what do I do?
You know, that's the biggest reason that I volunteered to be the RPOC, the head of the division that tells everybody what to do. Like, it's a crap job, nobody wants it, but if you're not in charge or the second in charge, then you have to stand in line for all the meals, and they make you stand heel to toe, shoulder to shoulder. And I did that for, like, 1 meal, and you're just right here, and there's someone right there, and you can't move, and you can't talk, and you just have to wait, and it's a long time. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't. And so I volunteered and then I never had to stand in that line again. And it was worth it. All of the crap that I had to take was worth it. It felt, oh,
Yeah,
that's a terrible feeling. Ooh,
it is a terrible feeling. It's like, oh no, no, no.
yeah.
Just I don't know. I get nervous. I get really nervous in situations like that where suddenly I'm just like surrounded by people. I forgot where we were. I don't know if we had gone to a local event or festival or something. And when you're in those corridors, like going to a Spurs game, and
Yeah.
you're in the corridor, and it's between quarters, and everybody's rushing to the bathroom or to the food station,
Yeah.
and you're just a lot of people going by, and I don't know. For me, I remember having a panic attack at the what is it? I think it was the Beastie Boys concert. I remember
Oh,
having a panic attack there. Like or maybe it wasn't a panic attack, but I was having a hard time breathing because it was
yeah.
just so much for me.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Like maybe do you have anxiety issues or is it just those particular situations that
I've never been diagnosed with anxiety issues, but maybe I don't know. I have no idea. I
maybe
just
it's
don't like people. I just
I
don't
don't
like
like that
a lot of people.
well,
Maybe I
I
should say
always
it like that. I don't like a lot of people.
it's too many things all at once. Like, I loved that Pike's Place Market in downtown Seattle, and anytime people visited me, they always wanted to go there, and it's really fun, but it's so crowded all the time, and I had, like, a panic attack there too. We went in the summer, and everyone's there in the summer, and it's just wall to wall people. Like, there's no space to weave between people when you get in, like, the inside of it where the halls between, like, the vendors are. It's just people jammed together, and so we were just getting through it, and I just started to get really faint, and I was like, "I'm gonna pass out. I can't do this."
Yes.
It was terrible.
Yes.
I love that market, but I had to, like, stop doing it or, like, go when the weather was really terrible and I knew people wouldn't be there,
Yeah.
and it's just it's so overcrowded. And I feel like we were never meant to, like, interact with this many things all at once.
Yeah.
You know, like, we used to live on farms and know, like, 10 people, and now it's, like, apps and all the stuff and out there there's just so many things.
Yeah. I will say I have visited New York City, and I
Ooh,
loved it. It was so interesting, but it wasn't overcrowded,
huh.
I felt like maybe it was the time that I went.
When
It
did you go?
We went for the New Year's thing. And by the way, we showed up like as early as 7, I
Did you
think.
go, like, to Times Square?
Yeah,
Oh,
and like they start
cool.
putting down these barricades, so we're like running, trying to, and then we ended up like blocks away from Times Square, sitting freezing in the middle of a street with all these people. There's no like bathroom in sight, and watching a big jumbotron. And so it's like, just let's hop on the train, go back to the hotel, and then we can just watch it there where it's warm. So
Is that what you did?
yeah, yeah.
That's good. It's Jada and Milkshake. She has a ponytail today. That looks super cute. Hi, Jada. Hi, Milkshake. He's like, hello, hello.
Yeah. How was class?
Good.
Good.
I ate 2 cookies.
You had 2 cookies? Yes. Is there a
What
scratch?
photo?
No. Meh.
Meh.
Um, so do you have another class in a little bit?
Yes.
Yes,
But I don't know which.
I think it's gym.
Jim?
Yeah. Hey,
What
I
did
got some new berries. If you go in the fridge, there's a bag of berries in there.
berries? Milkshake is so sweet and patient.
This is our thing now.
I know. It was such a big hit the first time it happened. We gotta bring.
It's cool. It's like right there.
I'm leaning away for you, just because you can't. But
Peter, go get some berries. Go get a snack, okay? Please. Or do you don't want a snack? Okay, you can sit there with milkshake.
she's so cute. What did they do for gym class? Like here, they just like will tell Cavern go outside and throw the football or go do jumping jacks or something like that. But
I don't know. What do you do in gym class? You just do little exercises together as a
Yes.
class?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I'm really glad everyone has kept school going. Even it's not ideal. Or yeah, she's over there. But I'm glad. I was afraid it would just stop forever.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is what I'd like you to do. I would like
Oh
you to go
no,
to the fridge. Hey, are you
something
listening?
is
Yeah.
leaking.
Go get your berries. Okay. It's in the bag. I'm trying to. She's got it.
Huh?
She's got it.
Is that a sack of berries? That's a lot of berries.
Well, it's
Oh, is that one of the reusable? Oh, okay.
I will say if you use them, you don't get as much mold. Like
Hmm.
if you keep them in containers, like I've always noticed mold grows really fast, even though we have it at the proper temperature or humidity setting.
Uh-huh.
Wait.
So if you wash them and then when you bring them back from the store, you wash them really good and let them dry out and put them in these sacks. I don't know, they seem to stay fresher longer.
Huh. Are they just made out of some sort of cloth?
Yeah, it's just like linen.
Oh, okay.
So
We used to have some reusable produce bags, but I don't know they're one of the many things we lost when we moved.
oh no.
I mean, we didn't lose it. It's in our garage somewhere in a box. We just haven't unpacked them all. Are they blackberries?
Strawberries and blackberries.
Ooh, Christmas puppy! Did you guys decorate for Christmas?
We did. We did. We have
That's super cute.
some my mom's
Aw.
quilt and a pillow.
Aw. And your stockings.
Our stockings. I can't even see really. Okay, there you go.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Who's the little for milkshake?
Yeah.
Okay. That's so cute.
And then our tree's in the other room.
Okay.
I don't do a lot of decorating. No, I don't know. I mean, like I do some. We do some. We're not complete Scrooges. I don't know. I feel
This is Christmas, Charlie.
That's Christmas, Charlie? Aw.
I
Because he has a
remember
Santa hat. That is
my
an
mom.
Christmas
Yeah, my
Charlie.
mom and dad. Do you remember coming to the house and like there's Christmas stuff everywhere?
Yeah,
There's
I
so much.
do. I think I remember your staircase because wasn't there garland like that? The pine, the green. I don't know. I always thought the staircase was super cool because of the
Yeah,
looked very grand
we
at
just had
Christmas.
a lot of stuff, and it was cool because a lot of the stuff that they have is from all the places they traveled. But
That's so cool.
at the same time,
Those are
it's just a
awesome.
headache because it was like we didn't have one Christmas tree to decorate; we had two Christmas trees to decorate, plus all the other stuff that goes out, and it's just like I think it's fun and festive, but I've kind
I
of
see
taken
tree.
a more minimal approach to
I see
Christmas.
tree.
So,
It's my tiny tree.
a tiny tree.
That's our tiny tree. I have a big tree too. Maybe if I turn it, can we see it? Where's the bigger tree? There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Tree.
There's our bigger tree.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a new one and a big one. I think someone gave us that tiny tree before we had the big one. We just added it like a
Uh-huh.
few years ago.
Wow.
But yeah, we don't really do a whole lot. Like we've
Yeah.
gotten more stuff over the years, but we've only done it when it's felt fun, you know?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it started to feel like a chore. Like my mom has a lot of Christmas stuff, and it was such a big thing. Like it was boxes all over the house. So if you need to go put this up, and it was just a lot to do. And I don't know, it started to feel like a chore. So
Yeah.
we've just tried to keep it like last night. We had hot cocoa and marshmallows and decorated the tree while we watched Elf. And you know, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, we had the Christmas tunes on and they decorated and and I made cookies and I mean it was just yeah, I don't know. Everybody's different though. It is kind of fun when you go to a friend's house and they or even back in the day in my parents' house when everything's like fully decorated. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
they took a lot of time to do that. And then for me, I'm just like, I don't know.
No.
Like
I'm not
if
very
if I had like the resources to pay somebody to come decorate the house for us, I would totally do that. Because I love the decorations. It's just
yeah.
the
Yeah.
logistics of getting them all up. Yeah.
And
But
storing them and yeah,
mhm.
the whole money thing. I don't know. I don't know. I'm such a Scrooge.
Or like the people who decorate there are people who decorate, you know, their houses with lights. And last year at like 9 in the morning, I heard all these footsteps on the roof of our house. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Oh my gosh. And there were people that were climbing up, putting lights on. They were like a service that put Christmas lights up and they just like had the wrong house. But I
Oh
thought
my
that
gosh.
but they didn't speak English. So I had to come out. It'd be like, I think you have the wrong house. Then they said stuff in Spanish. I was like, that's not I didn't ask for, I think maybe it's our neighbors. I don't know. They figured it out and they moved on. But that's something that it would be really cool to do because I think the lights are really awesome. Like that was what we would do in West Virginia and even in Texas. We would just drive around and look at people's Christmas lights and go,
Mhm.
ooh and ah. But it's just, I don't have a ladder and I don't want to climb up there to do that.
What was it there? I will say, like, I do miss that about Texas. Y'all do up the Christmas wrappings on trees, like legit. I mean, it's so beautiful. Anytime I've gone back to San Antonio for Christmas and you see the down at the Riverwalk, anywhere, even like just like anywhere in suburbia. Oh my god, I wish I could take a picture. I don't know how to take a picture, but that's
Oh my gosh, you're super cute. I don't, oh man, I don't know how to take a picture either.
yeah, I was like, oh no, here it is.
Well, doesn't Virginia do pretty good? Like I imagine places like Colonial
Oh yeah,
Williamsburg
yeah. I
being
mean, like Colonial Williamsburg, they have all that. And
Hi, Jerry. What did I do? Did your mom tell him to do that?
wait.
What are you talking about?
You're shaking your head at.
Looking at her.
Oh,
She's not
Jada.
answering me.
Oh, okay. Reminds me of when your mom says, "Oh no."
Oh God, Catherine.
Your brother did that too. But to be fair, I like ate all his ravioli all the time and stuff.
Pretzels.
His raviolis.
Oh.
Remember that.
Oh, but
Didn't hang up the
Christmas. I like it.
Hold on. What are you guys doing? There's so much going on in the background.
Don't worry about it.
It's just the peanut gallery. I thought she had a rubber chicken. It's a, which would have been hilarious. But it's your Santa advent calendar. That's super cute.
Oh, did you put one in for the first?
Because it's December 1st. Yay!
This is the problem of not having an office.
Yeah. I think I'm very fortunate that everyone stays like to the area upstairs. They're all very afraid to be on the camera. That's super cute for December the 1st. We have one that's like that, except it's much smaller, and it's a Christmas tree. And it doesn't have a bunch of different ones that you put in each day. It just has a little candy cane that you move from day to day as you get closer. Did you
We
do
had this growing up.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, this is what
Oh.
Michael and I had growing up.
Where did you have that? Like upstairs? Where?
I don't know where we kept it, but I remember we had it.
That's cool.
Are you taking any of these berries? Otherwise, they need to go back in the fridge,
We're
please.
hanging this up right now.
Oh, sorry. Gotta do it right now. All right.
Did you guys get those like paper advent calendars where you'd open up the little door each day?
We did growing up.
That's a big strawberry.
Oh my gosh, guys, seriously, I love you. Take your berries, put them on a dish or something. Get what you have to do, and then be gone, please.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
You want
This
me to
happens
yell
a lot.
too? Oh.
It happens a lot. I'll be in a Zoom meeting, and then suddenly like this happens. I'm like, guys, stop. I don't do this to you.
Like if Eric and I are ever at the table trying to do any business stuff, that's why it's so weird. No one bothers me during this time. Then we're interrupted every 3 seconds and we'll keep saying, guys, we're busy. Business. We have to make money. And then we give them the whole, or else if we don't make money, we lose the house. You don't want to be homeless. And they don't. That doesn't register. And
Yeah.
then 3 seconds later, it's the same thing. Fuck. So yeah, we're just sitting like in our bedroom when we do it now. We might go sit in the garage now that it's cool enough. But
Yeah.
otherwise it's just constant.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how you set those boundaries, because I mean, like with Jerry, like it's easy for him because he can just shut the door and you can hear him in a meeting, and it's like, so like you don't bother him. For me, I'm just in this open common space, so it's like, oh, it's mom.
Uh-huh. It's totally different because you say all of that, but then I swear there's like a different feel to these rooms down here because they're common areas. So even if I'm sitting here and even if there wasn't anyone in here, it just feels busy because it's always busy and everyone's learned this is where we talk and hang out and are busy. And it's just difficult to just switch that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought about it, like putting my desk upstairs in our bedroom. It's just like, I don't want our bed to be the backdrop. And I know you can do like virtual backdrops, but I don't even want to go through all that. So I just would love for my family to appreciate and be considerate of boundaries.
I would love for all of my family to do that too. I feel like that's a weird family thing because you have to be boundaryless in like so many ways.
Right.
Especially when they're little. But like as like Zoe's grown up, for sure, there are more and more like boundaries that we have to enact all the time. And it's their job. It's kids' job to like test boundaries and figure stuff out.
Right.
And she is constantly every single thing. Like, I want you to turn off your phone. I'm turning it off at this time and go to bed at this time tonight. Well, but I don't want to do that because tonight I was going to do this. How about you give me till this long? Maybe I'll just stay up till this late. Mom, what if I do? And it's just never okay, you know? And it's just always, when she was smaller, it was don't go past this line in the
Yeah.
driveway. And then it was getting right on that line and getting its toe just over it to see if I would notice and, just flirting with it. And it's annoying. Every now and then, did you ever go to the zoo and watch like the gorillas in the zoo? There'd be like the gorilla that's the mom or the dad, I'm guessing, and they're all these little smaller gorillas and they're crawling all over it and pulling its hair and it's just sitting there doing its stuff and they're just being jerks like "Rah!" And after a few minutes of it, the gorilla that's the big one is like, "Rah! Get out of here!" And they go away and they seem shunned and then they get closer and closer and then it just goes right back to it again. And it seemed like such a great metaphor for like how life with my child is.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, like, I want to also remember it's just like they're not always going to be like this where they want my attention all the time. So it's just like, so I try to be sensitive to the fact that all they're asking for is love and attention. But at the same time, I'm like, I can give that to you like completely once I'm done with this, and it's trying to help them understand that is sometimes hard. So,
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
I never, because that's stuff that comes with like an adult perspective, I think, and
Yeah.
with life experience. And I never know how to explain things like that to Zoe. Like
Yeah.
with her, she wants to have sleepovers with her friends, but it turns out all her friends are boys and
Yeah.
they're getting to be teenagers now. And she doesn't understand why we can't have a sleepover together, even though Eric has said, because they're teenage boys. She's like, but we're not into each other like that. To which he says, it doesn't matter. I was a 13-year-old boy. I was a nice guy, and I know the urges and stuff that guys do. Absolutely not. Like, it's not a good idea. And, but from her perspective, they're my friends, and she feels like I don't trust her or her friends. And it's so hard to explain that in a way she understands because I think it's just come with time
Yeah.
and having been through it and being here now, you
Yeah.
know? Uh,
It is hard to explain.
it
So
is.
thinking back to that in our youth, do you feel like our parents were trying to teach us those teachable moments where we're like, y'all don't understand? Or do you ever recall any kind of example where your parents were trying to teach you something or tell you something for your within your best interest, for your best interest, but you just didn't understand because you didn't have that vantage point of in hindsight?
Oh, yeah. Like the big picture. The biggest thing is like them making me take piano lessons because there was a time when I was just over it and I didn't want to do it anymore and it was a chore and I'm so glad I did because it's like a second nature thing. It's such a gift and had my parents not really made me do that,
Mm,
especially at the young age they did, then like it's just such a gift. Like I couldn't do that for myself later in life. It's yeah, so that's the biggest one. Like they definitely saw the big picture there.
yeah.
And I'm glad they did. Yeah. And then there's tons of other little stuff along the way for sure.
Yeah.
Like wanting to go out with this boy, but you can't because it's some other responsibility, like I don't know, a church thing the next day. And like looking back in life, like band is the thing I remember, and like some of the youth group church stuff, and like Mo Ranch and summer camp trips. And it's like, yeah, that would have sucked to have missed out on that because of a boy who I don't remember, you know? So, I mean, yeah. Why do you have something that really
No,
jumps
like
out?
I was kind of wondering if we're thinking about Paul Trent or
Oh
whatever.
my gosh. Yeah, that's probably who I'm fishing for when I'm like a guy, but I
Cause
couldn't place it.
because I remember
Yeah,
bringing that can of notes and stuff, and yeah,
I know. I think I was just so excited that a boy liked me and like that I thought he was like cool. it's like a cool boy likes me. And to make it like super serious and sad for a second, like I was really searching for male acceptance and affection because my relationship with my dad was getting really estranged. And which is a lot of, why I was just so attached to Mark, even though he was really mean. I mean, not really mean. He was a boy, like in high school, and he was not as committed to things as I was.
Yeah.
And like I was leaning on, yeah, I was looking for something to replace my dad. And it was still super annoying and crazy. And like, I don't think he and I ever even talked like in person. We talked on the phone, but like,
Really?
yeah, really. Isn't that weird? Like, we didn't share classes together. And I don't think our paths really crossed unless we went way out of our way. He was in the band. So we would have been in the same room because he played the drums.
Yeah.
But like, we never actually spoke in person at all.
Really?
Yeah. We talked
I,
on
'cause
the
I
phone.
remember all the notes, and I was
Yeah,
like,
there were notes. We passed notes like between other people and we talked on the phone a few times. And we always planned stuff, but we never actually did anything outside of school.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. See, sometimes I feel like I see a lot of what Jade goes through, like what I went through, because I was an August baby, and she's like end of July. And so all my classmates were, mentally, emotionally more mature than me. And so, you know, I remember it was in middle school. I don't even know if I told you this. Like there's I think her name was Vanessa, and her cousin from I don't know where, maybe Sweden or something like that, had flown in to visit. He was really nice, and he was cute.
When was
And I
this?
remember we all went roller skating together.
Like, how
And
old were you or what grade were
I was
you?
in middle school, so
Okay.
it was like sixth or seventh grade. And I remember like we all went roller skating together, and he wanted to hold my hand, and I got like really like nervous, and I was not ready. I just like that should be my my tagline for my life. Not ready.
I'm just not ready.
I'm not ready. So I got really nervous. I mean, he was cute, but I just knew I wasn't like I didn't even want to go there yet. That was I want to say my first awareness of you know boys liking me, or I'm me liking boys. And I
Oh.
just remember I wasn't ready.
You
Like
had
it,
an obvious, like, not too soon.
no, too soon, too
Yeah.
soon.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he was cute though. He was. I just no.
That's funny. Like, I don't think you ever did tell me that.
I don't think I did.
That's
But
very interesting.
yeah. But I mean, like even with Jada, like, well, not about boys, but she just there's an innocence about her, and I think I see kids her age, and I just and I don't know. I just feel like she's gonna be a late bloomer kind of thing, you know,
Uh-huh.
which is fine.
Yeah.
It's but there's just she's very isolated too, because I mean, like, it's COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that's like the whole era of babies and children who were developing during this era, if they're going to be obviously like more reserved or, if
Yeah, maybe so.
that'll be a thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. My little sister was totally a late bloomer, I would say, but like really late. Like she didn't learn to ride a bike till she was 12, but she
Okay.
just didn't want to. She
Yeah.
and that's how she's really been her whole life. She really doesn't get worked up or excited about things, and she just doesn't do it if she doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And she didn't graduate from college. I don't think it took her a while to decide what she was going to do. And I think I don't know. I'm going to say it wrong. But, like, she was in college for a few years just, figuring it out because she doesn't need to hurry, like and I appreciate that about her so much. Like, she just was never in a hurry to grow up, and everyone else around her is like, "You've gotta do this, and you've gotta do that," and that's never really changed her steadfastness and, "No, I'm good," and is, like, little and sort of small and wafy is she kind of because she's still so little. I mean,
Yeah.
she might hate that, but she's really sweet, and she just is who she is. Like, she very much is who she is and doesn't pretend to be anybody else. I'm like, I admire that
Well,
about her.
I like that.
Yeah, I
I
don't
like that. I hope, yeah. I was telling Cherry, I was like, I feel like Jada's the next Beatrix Potter.
Oh,
She's like has her own little worlds, that
yeah.
she kind of creates in her mind or like plays out with her toys. And I don't know, she is in her own kind of space. And yeah.
Does she
It's
tell little stories and stuff?
Yeah, and she started like she'll grab the iPad and she'll start now she started making little videos
Oh, cool.
and of just her playing with these toys and creating these little stories and stuff. So
That's so fun.
yeah. I'm not gonna rush and exploit the fact that my child is having this great imagination. I'm not gonna throw it out on YouTube, obviously, without her consent. But it is really special, at least that I can see it.
Yeah.
But
That
anywho,
that's so cool. That's really,
yeah,
really great that she has an interest in that she has a thing she gets lost in, that
yeah,
isn't like a screen.
yeah. She does get very much immersed with all of that. Although going back to the Joe Rogan thing, she does have screen time where it's just like, oh man, like because she does Zoom in the mornings and then screen time in the afternoons doing homework, and then she wants to just have downtime. So whether it's playing with toys or going on a walk
Yeah.
or just for her vegging out is watching YouTube Kids or something. And sometimes I'm like, God, she's been on that like device like all day. Part of
Yeah.
it is learning, but it's like, no.
I know what you mean because Kevin will be the same way. Like he has all this class that's just sitting in front of the computer. And, we would like him to go and get off and go outside or do something different. But sometimes it's so much work because he's at the stage where there's a good bit of homework. Like there was one time he kept saying and checking and said he doesn't have any homework. Then we found out he had 37 assignments that had backed up.
Oh
So that
no.
was a lot of stuff for that weekend, but he
Oh
got through it to his credit, and he's doing well, but, like, after that, he's just like he doesn't wanna do anything, and I get it,
yeah.
but it's like, he's still 8 years old, and there's so much, like, wiggly energy, and
Yeah.
it needs I don't know, but then I get it, that he's worn out and he just wants to vegetate because I get that way too.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I worry, like, what if this all, like, crashes one day? Because 'Cause we're getting so dependent on technology. I
Oh
like the little echo things and the stuff where you just use your voice now,
yeah.
like, I won't do that, but maybe
Yeah,
I'm a little
we
huh?
don't we don't have one either.
It makes me like, I feel like I'm being probably listened to more than I would be okay with already. I don't wanna just invite it into my home. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I'll be the really old person that's resisting change at a point, but I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Like you and Jerry, like we were talking about it. He's like, I would rather just go back to a flip phone. And it's like, well, I mean, if
Maybe
we're so worried about it, like let's just unplug. Like I'm great at unplugging. I have no problem unplugging. Like do not disturb. I will set it and then like forget where I put my phone and like I don't worry about it. Like
that's
that's fine
nice.
with me because it used to be where it was a problem even to this day, like if I hop on Instagram, I really try to watch the clock because it is just endless scrolling. And even though it's like amazing content on there, like after a while, it's just like, I gotta stop, I gotta stop. So when I got rid of my Facebook, Facebook, this is what I cannot stand. Like, I'm going to be honest and just be brutally honest. Like, I cannot stand Facebook. I hate the fact that so much of our lives are through Facebook. Like, I can't even be part of a group, like where we actually meet in front of each other. And it was a hula group that I was a part of. But everything's communicated through Facebook. Facebook Messenger. And even when I was learning Hawaiian language in a language course, granted it was in Hawaii, but everything's communicated through Facebook. And it's like, what happened to just emails or whatever like that? And even though I can like set do not disturb or, modify my notifications, I really keep very minimal information or shares or posts on Facebook. And I've made it a practice every month, and I sound like the crazy person now. Maybe that's a bad word, but just, I don't know. Every month I clear out my activity on Facebook. And so here's the thing, like I'm part of that.
Like, do you mean you clear out all of your posts and stuff?
Posts, likes, whatever.
Okay.
It's just like, why do I even like anything if I'm just going to take it off? So, but here's the thing, like I'm doing that photography work for that company. And so I have to post my stuff on there, but I can't post on the page as a business. I have to post as my personal self, like as my personal profile to the business site. And even though I tried to like create an admin role under my actual business name for that company, like I can't.
Weird. So you have a business thing for your Facebook, but you can't use it to post.
Well, I mean, like I had the business page, my own business page.
Right.
And they have their own business page, and they want me to post the pictures that I take onto their business page, directly onto their business page. Okay. And it's like, okay, the only way I can do that though is from a personal profile, not a business. I can't assign a business an admin role.
Oh, huh.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks. Your business.
I mean, unless I just post it and then they have to, accept it and whatever, and, go through the pictures and accept it, Yeah. But I was kind of telling them I would like to be able to, modify these albums and so anywho, I just hate Facebook. I mean,
you look so much more stressed out even since you started talking about it. Like you're rubbing your face a lot and just doing all of these.
It stresses me out. It does. Like
I don't. Like, because it does that to me too. And like everybody I know says, I feel terrible and I lose like hours when I'm on Facebook and I stress about it. It's not, I need it out of my life. It's a pretty common thing. The people being stressed out over Facebook.
Well, I mean, I wish like these corporate businesses would put it into their practice to say, we're not gonna communicate with you like this. I wish there was another avenue for people like businesses to advertise other than freaking Facebook,
Me too. Like I really have tried to avoid Facebook at all costs. Like Zoe's school does stuff on Facebook and I just have told them over and over, you have to send me a text. I'm not on Facebook because I don't want to get on it because I can't avoid that terrible feeling and having something catch my eye that just ignites all of these thoughts. And it just, I don't like the way it feels. So if I just have a boundary there where I don't open Facebook, then it just never happens. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But I think
It is.
we're gonna have to advertise on it with a business,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I might make Zoe do it, but then I don't wanna throw her in it.
Yeah. It just sucks that like Facebook is, I don't know. I just feel like there's a way that we could communicate with people by calling them, or even if it is a text or email, like, I don't know.
Just a less curated, like a more organic, because nothing on Facebook feels authentic anymore. It just I know how I would like, set things up for like I did a few Facebook pictures for this vegan tempeh company. So like make
Mhm.
a sandwich and set it up and make it all perfect and adjust filters and add this here and there. I mean, it's a good sandwich and it looked nice, but like so much goes into making it just perfect. And you go through so many pictures to find the perfect one. And it's like, it took me like 30 minutes, an hour sometimes to get two pictures out of it and a little post. Whereas the idea I thought was supposed to be like, "Oh, I'm here. A little quick picture. Hey, what's up? We're having fun," and then you go about living your life. But now it's like people are living their lives for Facebook versus living your life and just going, "Hey, this is me," throwing sort of little,
Yeah.
I don't know, guideposts. Too much
Yeah.
thought. But you know what I mean, kind of?
Yes. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
Definitely. As a photographer, I definitely fall victim of that, where that
Oh, I bet.
perfectionism or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I bet. Do you go through shots that are really similar and one of them is really good, but so is this one, and you can't quite tell which is better, and it's really hard to commit? You know what do you go through
Yeah.
that little thing?
Yeah, I do. I do, cuz I mean, but at the same time it's just like I've always wanted to take like just really raw images of people. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I shouldn't say anything more.
Oh, no?
I guess sometimes it's hard because in photography there's the idea that if you're good at your work, it's going to be perfect, and it's the lighting's going to be perfect, and the person's going to have a really nice polished finished look. But then another side of me is just like, people want to look their best. If they're going to get their pictures taken, they want to look their best. But at the same time, it's just like, can I just see you guys just like making cookies? If you get messy, then that's fine. I just want this to be like a snapshot of what's really taking place.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that about the Impressionist movement, where I feel like you got that feeling of authentic. It wasn't, I don't think it was necessarily staged. It was just like, I don't know, I forgot what period of time in art where it was just more the day-to-day stuff. But then in the Impressionist movement, I feel like there was more of a soul that went with it,
Yeah.
and the light. And one of my favorite artists is Gustave uh, Caillebotte. I'm probably saying that completely wrong.
Is it an impressionist
Hmm.
painter?
He does like well, it's not a parasol, but it was where it's the man with a beard and he's standing there with an umbrella in the rain in France.
Oh,
Anyways, but my favorite of his is the wood scrapers, and they're just wood scraping floors, but the light looks awesome, and it's just, they don't look, you don't even see their faces, you don't, it's nothing perfect, they're doing something really like grimy and gross, and well, I won't say gross, but just, hard work, and
yeah.
I don't know, it's beautiful, and I just feel like I don't know.
It's like we're only looking at the really beautiful blossom of the plant when there's this massive, like, there are these cool leaves and there's all this other stuff that went into making this one perfect part.
Yeah,
Like, all
like
of that has its own beauty. Like,
there's so much pressure to have like like to look perfect, everything to look perfect.
Totally.
And especially in photography, it's just like you won't win awards or you won't be merited unless you take out all these distractions in the background and whatnot. I did a informal judging of my images. And there's this one I took of Jada, which I think is like particularly like wonderful. And she's sitting on the bed and she's holding the cat, and but her expression, the cat, it's just like on point. And they loved it too, but they're like, yeah, there's too many wrinkles in the mattress. You're gonna have to reshoot it if anything, and the background's too busy with, and it's like, I don't know, I feel
But
like
then
if
it's not the same moment.
exactly. And so like I feel like when you go to a museum, an art museum, yeah, there's those formal fine portraits where, it's like some kind of monarch and he's there with his whatever and
Yeah.
draperies in the background. That's not me. That's not me. Like I want to like capture things in the moment. Why can't that be fine art?
I think it can be. I mean, maybe you have it. Well, I mean, you must because every place is different. But I feel like maybe it's where we live and maybe where I lived before. But like fine art is everything from that like 17th century, like realistic looking portraits to the impressionists. Like, I don't know, what is that? You decide for yourself. And
Yeah.
because that's my favorite too, and I don't know, I think that could differentiate you from everybody else if that's what the market's saturated with, because, I mean, I don't know, I miss the authentic, like, organic, candid people living their lives because that's when they're the most, like, beautiful looking, when you
Yeah.
catch people in a moment where they're just laughing and smiling, like, and they don't know anyone's watching, like, those are the best smiles in the world.
It is. And it's hard because there's so much pressure when you have a family in front of you and they want something wonderful to share on Facebook or to hang in their home or whatever they're going to do with it. And it's so hard because there's that like do you stage them and make sure that they're like positioned and whatever correctly, or do you just like let them live their lives, take shots and wait for a really stirring moment and then tell them to freeze, adjust your lights, and then it's like you take the magic out of it. I don't know. It's really hard.
Yeah, that seems like it would have to be two sort of really different styles of photography. Because, yeah, if you have them in a candid moment and then you catch a moment, but the lighting's not right, so you have to set it up, then you might as well just stage something.
Yeah,
But
you
then
might.
the candid thing is so, like, you don't know when there's going to be a moment and when it's going to happen. Yeah. And maybe you don't get a moment that day. It's very unpredictable. Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's just hard. I don't know. Sorry, that like totally spun off to me. Sorry,
It's okay.
narcissistic. I was like, we were talking about Facebook and how much I hate it, and then I went into my own thing. Sorry.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
cool. We were talking about the impressionists and, like, the authenticity
Yeah,
and
which
that.
kind of relates to Facebook. Is it authentic? I don't
I
really think
don't think it is. I mean, it's not because of the way at least I personally would doctor things and then know about other people, what their lives are like not on Facebook. I mean, it's very cherry-picked items that are shared, and it's really polished up to look really nice for everybody,
so.
and it's I don't know, I think that's missing from the world and that people are really longing for it, even if we don't realize we're longing for it, just for people to be real again. Like,
Yeah.
gosh, looking at Dolly Parton, we watched the Macy's Day Parade.
Oh yeah, we watched a little
Oh,
bit.
you
Oh,
did?
I missed her though. I
You did?
must say, yeah, we didn't see her.
She was way towards the end, like,
Oh,
a
okay.
couple hours, and they were broadcasting from somewhere in Tennessee, wherever she was, like, they were in studio, and she sang a song, but she's had so much plastic surgery done to where she looks almost just the same, you know? It's like, man, that's not something I would wanna do. Like, I've seen the plastic surgery. I used to watch those shows like Real Life Plastic and Real Life
Yeah.
in the ER, and it's so brutal what they do to your face, and then after it's done, it just looks awful, and she has to have done it more than once, and that's just so much to go through to look perfect, and then you're just gonna have to do more in another year. I don't know, it seems exhausting. And I feel pressure to not look so old, and I'm like, "I don't even really care." It's
I
just
know
every
what happened to just the beauty of aging.
I know. I think that women like my grandmother, when she got older and she had, like, her white hair and she was, like, more she was like the beautiful grandmother version of herself, you know? It would have been super weird if she'd kept her hair black and kept wearing the same sort of Betty Boop style, like, cute 50s it would have been super like, she wouldn't have been my grandmother. I don't know, there's a real beauty that we don't value as much as we should about women who've achieved that stage in life. I don't know how to say it without saying who've
So
made it
here's
to be
the
old.
here's the dilemma though, like women our age who are now approaching 40 or after 40, and you're kind of like you don't I mean, you don't identify yourself as being young anymore, but you're not fully mature either. And so like I don't know. It is kind of you go through this almost like identity like thing where it's like, okay, my body may or may not have changed since I was 20 something, due to whatever factors, whether it's having babies or your just general diet and exercise or whatever environment. And but you feel like this pressure of like, or at least I do, where it's like it wasn't so long ago that I look like this, and and now I have gray hair and blah 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 blah, and it's like, do I keep this up? Do I dye my hair, or do I just let it go and say F it? Just I'm grown old. This happens to all of us. So I don't know. It's kind of hard.
I
Do you
think you
feel?
should just let it go. I
Yeah.
I don't feel like I care a whole lot. Like, I look back I can look back and say, "Gosh, I was so young." But when I start to do that, I always tell myself, "Dude, you're gonna be 70 one day, and you're gonna look back on these moments where you thought you looked old and think you're an idiot." Just like I always like, I look back on my 20s and go, "I really did look really young." So I just try to shift my perspective that
I
way.
like that.
And then it's just I mean, it's gonna happen one way or the other. I don't wanna fret about it, so I don't know. I
Hmm.
don't worry about and then I've also been in the line of work where what I look like doesn't matter at all. Like welding, you just do your job and you're gross and nasty and it doesn't matter. So maybe that's a part of it too.
Yeah.
But I don't worry about it a lot. I don't know. My cousin has some gray hair and my older sister, and I think it's cool. Like, I'm like, I don't have any gray hair. I feel like they're real grown-ups. And my
Yeah.
cousin has like this one stripe. It goes right in the front right here, and it just came in that way. It looks like she did it on purpose.
Huh.
When she pulls her hair back, there's this one white strip of gray hair.
Nice.
It's very cool looking. I'm not sure. I don't think she likes it. I can't remember. Maybe she does now.
Yeah, like I'm getting gray hair like up here, like all on the sides.
Really?
It's coming in. But I mean,
Really?
like I
I
did
can't
like
see
dye
it.
my hair recently, like I don't know, a couple weeks ago. But anyway,
Oh.
my hence the hat today.
You have a little bit of a swoopy thing, probably from
I
your
know.
hat.
Yeah, probably from the whole like wedding singer look.
Drew Barrymore's little
Yeah,
doo-woppy kind of keep
yeah.
doing this.
Oh my
Ah, Drew Barrymore. I don't know. It's
good. Like I feel like she's aged very well. I don't think if she's done anything, I can't tell.
Really? I don't know.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like I feel like most people have, especially like their lip up here. I see so many of the people get the puffy kind of lip. I'm guessing collagen, maybe Botox. Like, do you watch It's Always Sunny? That show?
No, no.
Oh, okay. Well, the girl in it, she came back one season and all of a sudden her lip was way fuller and like her cheeks up here are way fuller. And so, I mean, I don't know. It seems like an easy procedure that makes people lose some wrinkles. And I don't know. If I were in Hollywood, I could see how constant pressure would make somebody be like, all right,
Yeah,
like maybe someone won't hire you unless you do something. Ugh, that would suck.
yeah,
Ugh.
that would suck. But then there's beautiful women like oh, what's her name? Is it Diane Lane?
Yeah,
She's
she
in
was she in the House Under the Tuscan Sun.
yeah, and
love
Perfect
that movie.
Storm. I think she's drop dead gorgeous. For the record, if she ever finds this like drop dead,
Call me.
well, like I
No.
think she's I don't know.
She's really pretty, and I think she didn't start acting and
Until
like
later.
get a break until she was in like her late 30s or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if I was gonna be like famous, like, I would want to be like her, where it's just like you know who she is. She's a classic beauty, but she's
Yeah.
not like in the headlines. Like, she's living her life. She's happy.
Yeah.
I assume she's happy. I don't know.
I hope
But
she's happy.
yeah, I hope she's happy. Good Lord. But I don't think she succumbed to the whole, you know, needing that perfect look for Hollywood. I think she's played into roles that suit her age or she could play up to in age,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, because she's really a good actress too. Like the stuff I've seen, she's been very good in. And it probably helped that she started later, because she like had some time to figure out who she was and hopefully maybe be more like secure with it before everyone is looking at you and talking about how you look and
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
Here's another person. I have no idea what happened to them. Demi Moore?
Oh gosh.
What happened to her?
Oh, I looked her up recently.
Did you?
It's kind of sad. Like,
No.
I mean, it's just the way things have kind of fallen apart for her. Like she was in the headlines for like having outbursts and she was in court for something and then people were talking about her having an eating disorder and she looked really thin and I looked up a picture of her and she looked so good when she first had all that work done at like Charlie's Angels, but apparently it doesn't hold up forever because her face has just it looks almost cellulite-y, that kind of
Is it just all sunken in?
yeah, and
like
it's
up here and sunken in?
kind of it's like it's all falling down
Oh no.
and I don't know. And she was, married to Ashton Kutcher and then that fell apart and
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I had to stop reading it because it was bumming me.
Like,
I
we
was
love
hoping
Demi Moore.
I loved her so much, like in G.I. Jane. The article I read is
Yeah.
super criticized G.I. Jane, and I was like, "What?" Like, you could say what you will about the movie, but she got in badass shape for that. Like, that was impressive, and
Yeah.
I always admired that about her, and I wanted to just read, like, she's actually just gotten out of the public eye, and she's just hanging out, living her life, and doing great, and it was more like, yeah, it's just been one kinda headache and disaster after disaster, and,
That's no good.
it's
Well, we're rooting for you, Demi.
right? I'm
keep
rooting
keep
for
at it.
everybody, really.
Yeah, really. Yeah, really.
One time, and this is whatever. I loved the Deadliest Catch show, and
Oh yeah.
there's a guy named Blake Painter, and he is an aspiring captain on this boat in like season 1, and then he's not on the show like later on. So I looked him up to see like I hope maybe he's probably just a successful captain and got married and has kids. And so I look him up, and it's like Blake Painter found dead in home at 39. I was like, Jesus,
Shut up.
that's so crazy. That bummed me out. I didn't need to share that. That didn't help. But it's a crazy byproduct of that fishing industry because I think they get out in their job and it's so exciting. And then you get home and they've set this bar for excitement that like you just can't compete with ever. And then they get injured, so they're in pain. And those pain pills are so easy to get hooked on. Like
That's kind of like that documentary I watched. I think I told you about it in a previous episode, where it was Michael Phelps, and he's talking about the mental wellness of a lot of these athletes, even astronauts, where they like have these, because Jerry and I watched it, it was on, I think, Disney Plus. I forgot the name of it. It's a really good show, but it's about, the first team to go up in orbit and stuff. And anyways, I've kind of watched it on and off. He's gotten really into it, but yeah, it's like a lot of these astronauts, especially in the early days, and they had all the parades, and same with our athletes, and then once it's done, it's done. And so kind of like your fishermen, it's just like, how do you keep that momentum going? Like, is there, I don't know.
Yeah. I think the only answer is like you have to plan something else. But then like when you're an astronaut that went to the moon, like what do you follow that up with? Or like if you go to the Olympics and like Michael Phelps win all these gold medals and break world records.
Yeah.
Like what do you do next?
What do you do next?
Yeah.
Like I feel bad for the athletes that work so hard, and then it just takes one break or like one whatever, and then their career is over. It's just like, geez.
I know. I get so sad when I see like a college football player go down on the field because it can totally be that one thing changes their career forever. And like maybe they don't get to play in the NFL. Yeah. It's so brutal.
No.
But then why would you do it? Like if I
Sorry
were
to be all bummer. So there's so here's a question for you, because it came up on my Instagram whatever feed. And it was because I follow Dodger stuff, and if you scroll past your regular updates, and then it's endless scrolling of things that they suggest for you that you might like. And there's one of the things that came up. It was a batter, and I forgot who was playing, but he goes to bunt, and when the pitcher throws the ball, he goes for the bunt, and it hits him square in the face.
Oh my God.
And he just drops.
Oh my
and
God.
then like I'm reading the comments, and this guy's like arguing that like, oh, come on, it's baseball. It's not like hockey where you have 100-mile-per-hour hockey pucks. And then this other person's
They
like,
throw it that fast. Oh my God.
yeah, they do. And then it was this other guy's like, yeah, but like hockey players, y'all have cages in front of your face. And then it just turned out to be some like argument amongst, Instagram users. What's the more, I guess, intense or sport? And it's just like, I mean, that's kind of hard to say.
I mean, I think they're just different. I mean, they're both brutal and intense in their just own ways. Like you're probably more likely to get beat up playing hockey, so maybe you could make the argument it's more dangerous in that way. But I mean, yeah, you can get nailed with a pitch or a fly ball or something, and that's really rough. Like
I feel bad for like the players are out there like day after day. I mean, they have like the busiest season out of all.
their season is so long. It feels
so
like
long.
it is.
They're like out there all the time. It's just like the wear and tear on their bodies over time. It's just like, geez.
I know, like, I remember I saw something, like a documentary or part of some sports show where they were talking about when pitchers will wear out their arm and just mid-pitch will snap this one very specific bone, and it had a whole little montage of guys just throwing the ball, and then they just go to the ground holding their arms, screaming because
Was it oh,
it
the
might even be like
curveball or fast pitch or something like that? I watched a documentary. I almost wanted to buy it because it was so good. It was about pitchers.
I
And
think it was about pitchers.
yeah,
It was over 10 years ago, probably. I wanna
yeah,
say. But it was really interesting.
yeah. I don't know. Sports in general, I think, is pretty brutal.
I know, football, ooh, football has gotten so much crazier. Like, do you think if we took one of the very first football teams ever, like, from the 1900s and had them play, like, today's Pittsburgh Steelers, I think the Steelers would just annihilate them. Because maybe it's just me, but they seem so much, like, bigger and faster, and some of the times they collide, it just looks so bad. It it never used to bother me as a kid, but now when I see them hit really hard, it sounds so loud.
That movie with Will
Mm.
Smith kind of changed my mind about football a little, where he was
Which
kind of with Will Smith, and it's a true story based on a true story where I think he came from Africa and he was like a doctor. He plays a doctor from Africa and he does a study about the what happens as a result to constant impacts in football. And I think it changed the way football like did their helmets or padding or maybe some of the rules. I have no idea. But anyways, it was but just the studies from all these former athletes, these football athletes who end up with like mental whatever,
I know.
just what happens to them
Yeah,
because of concussions and stuff.
the thing you're talking about, it definitely changed the rules of football. There are all these like, I don't think they'll ever take the danger away because from what I understand, it's even little hits that don't look like much. Just like someone falling backwards and their head hitting the turf or like helmets colliding just as they hit in the line of scrimmage. It's like the little tiny things, but they do have like they'll eject players if they make helmet to helmet contact, and they're
Mhm.
not supposed to lower their head or their shoulder before they tackle someone. I think they have
Yeah,
different
like
helmets.
charging or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, they're aware of it and they're doing things differently. I'm an advocate for, and I know it'll never happen, just taking the pads off and going back to like they did in the 1920s because it's like I know I don't play professional football, but my theory is that like with the gym where we took mixed martial arts, people would wear their helmets and then the higher belt levels would not wear their helmets when we were sparring. And they would say wearing your helmet is a really stupid thing to do because then someone sees the helmet and thinks, sweet, I can hit them pretty hard. But if you leave it off, you're way less likely to get injured, which seems
Mm.
really counterintuitive. But all of the very experienced people never wore helmets sparring because it causes people to not think about how hard they're hitting you and not be aware of it. But if you have it off, then they're going to be gentler, kind of like rugby. Granted, rugby is still
Yeah.
crazy brutal, like it's brutal, but you feel it when you hit somebody right there. So you're not going
Oh, yeah.
to smash into dudes like you would if you're all covered in pads because you're like,
Yeah.
sweet, I'm protected. And it's still just really dangerous.
Just
But I
Jack
love
liked
football.
that whole documentary series about All Blacks.
I watched
But
that because you said he had liked it, the All or
yeah.
Nothing?
Yes. Yeah. He loved it. He so.
That was
Um,
good.
but that is pretty intense. I don't know what would happen. Like in America, I feel like somebody would sue somebody, and then the whole game's over. So
Yeah, that would most likely definitely happen.
kind of like in baseball, like them saying we got to extend the fence down the line a little further because people keep getting hit, and it's just like if you're going to be watching baseball, you need to be watching the game because, that ball can suddenly,
We're a lot of
shoot off into the foul zone,
okay.
off, first or third base and then clock you. So, you got to kind of pay attention.
I thought that was part of the fun of baseball if a fly ball comes over there. Because, yeah, you're paying attention and then you might catch a fly ball from a game, right? But no, people were
get
getting
themselves.
nailed?
Yeah, people are getting nailed.
Jiminy.
And these athletes are like a lot stronger, kind of like what you were saying. It's just like they're a lot stronger, more conditioned, and
Yeah,
so it's different.
it's so different now.
Yeah,
They're crazy.
yeah.
They have some like a few seasons of the all or nothing thing, but on professional football teams.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
see any of those?
We watched the one for, of course, Cleveland Browns because my husband's from Cleveland.
Oh yeah.
So we watched that one. And I want to say we watched the Buccaneers. So yeah.
Just all of the teams, I'm sure. Like it's crazy the training they do. Like one of the guys had someone pulling on him with like a big bungee cord around his waist while he was on a balancing thing and someone was throwing him footballs that he had to catch. It's
Oh,
just like, how do you come up with that exercise? But it's
we're gonna throw you into a moat full of sharks, and
we're gonna put this plunger on your head and throw rings and you gotta catch it. Like that.
while we toss a ball at you.
Occasionally a wrench. Like, how did they just that had to take a lot of time and study and probably to come up with all the ways to make people better. I don't know.
Oh, geez.
I still love football though. But
Yeah.
I'm worried about the whole brain injury problem, but they have fun. They get paid a lot of money. I don't know. And I still love it. Do you watch football at all? Like Jerry loves the Browns, but are
Yeah,
you
Jerry loves football in general. I mean, he's from Ohio. How can you not? I
is he a Buckeyes fan then? Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm very sick of the Buckeyes. Well, my friends growing up in West Virginia were really big Buckeye fans, and I swear I remember them being really good then, and they're really good now, and they're just always so good. And I
Yeah.
always want Texas to be good, and they never quite make it.
You were good back in our day.
Yeah, it's just they've only won, I think, 3 national championships, like overall ever. And when I
That kid
think
from that kid from Clemson's really good. I wonder what's gonna happen with him.
the guy
The
that's there now,
Yeah, the QB. What's his name?
I don't know. He's the guy.
Got glorious blonde hair. Oh my
Yep.
god! I'm like, it's like hair goals. Hello.
I know. That's the only thing I could think of. I don't know his name, but I remember
I
his
don't
hair.
know his name, but I know his hair.
They're really good.
Yeah.
I always wonder if someone like that is going to go on to be a pro quarterback because sometimes someone will be really good in college and then you just kind of never hear from him in the pros.
I'm sorry. Like that just totally brings me back to Manziel.
Manziel?
Manziel. He's from A&M. He was
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Heisman Trophy winner, and then there's like all these great things for him. He got signed by the Browns, and then he's just a total.
That's so weird.
Do you remember that? Everybody made a
Yeah.
big stink, and then he didn't go in the first round. I think he went in the second round.
I do remember that guy and I'd forgotten about him because
Yeah,
after the Heisman, he's so great. That was kind of it.
yeah. So he was good in college, but then he.
Weird.
I had his jersey and everything because I
Really?
love A&M, and I was like, yeah. And then he was just a total. I don't know. It's sad because he really pissed it away. So
Oh,
I think
really?
there was a lot of other things, personal things he was.
Oh.
Maybe.
Man, I think some people get a little like taste of the fame and they just can't do it,
Yeah.
Like just overindulge in too many of the things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like if I had gotten fame, oh well, when I did get reenlistment bonuses and stuff in my early 20s, I just spent it on I couldn't tell you what, like a new car. Crap I really didn't need. And I could have put it in savings and paid off debt and stuff, but I was young and it was like, yay, money.
Yeah.
So probably something like that.
Yeah.
Well, where do all of the football players in the NFL come from? If all of the people that are really good in college just kind of disappear, you know?
Well, I mean, they are drafted from college, but there are a few walk-ons, right?
Yeah. Like they couldn't just come from college. Well, then a lot of them are in the NFL and stay there. So they either have contracts or get traded or
Yeah.
become a free agent. I don't know.
Mm.
There's a woman who plays football and I don't think I like it. Is that weird?
Is she just played her first game this past weekend? What was her name? And she's
I don't
yeah,
remember.
she's like special teams, a kicker.
Yeah, that's what I figured she probably had to be.
Yeah. What is this? It's like with that movie with Catherine Ireland.
Yes,
Remember?
I do. Yes. Isn't that Necessary Roughness?
Yes.
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 And they're terrible. But yeah, she's their kicker.
That's right.
I don't know. I don't know. Just the men in football are so big that I'm all for women, yay, but like they're just built differently. And maybe that's okay. I don't know. But if she wants to play football, like more power to her. It's it's just I don't know. I don't know. It's weird that I would have not the most supportive. I mean, I'm not against it. It's just weird. I'm like, I don't know. Like there's a female that's like an offensive coordinator or something for the 49ers. And I'm like,
Yes.
okay, that's super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
a girl who's a referee now. And I think that's super cool. But I don't know.
Remember that Cosby episode with Rudy? Like
No.
it's there's an episode where Rudy's she ends up winning the game or doing this amazing play, and she's
She played football?
yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know why I brought that up. It just
Now I'm thinking about Bill Cosby, which is super cool. It's such a shame. It's like, does that make his stuff not funny now? You know what I mean? It's sort of like a German that was a terrible Nazi, but he invented a really cool snow cone maker. Like, do we hate the snow cone maker too? Maybe. I can't think about his jokes as funny as they were without thinking about all the other stuff.
Yeah.
It would be different if there were remorse. I don't know. We don't need to keep unpacking this suitcase. It's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, sports in general it's an interesting industry. You know?
It really is. It's like a miniature sort of Roman Colosseum game that we've just parceled out into its own arena. It is weird. It's manufactured conflict and like showdowns.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And
very
then like all the merchandise and then just I don't know. But there's something about it that's really amazing, you know?
there
So
totally is.
I'm not trying to poo-poo on sports. I love it.
I don't like it when people start rioting because their team won and crap like that. That's like, come on, settle down there, Raiders fans.
I get really disappointed with people when they start like leaving like really terrible comments on these athletes' pages.
Right?
It's like okay, calm down.
Right?
Exactly. It's like
Because what he's doing is so easy. Like he might be doing terrible at whatever, but like it's so much better than anything I could do. I remember that when I start to be critical of something dumb a football player seems to do. It's like that'd have to be so crazy to have all these people coming at you trying to kill you. You're like, I gotta throw this to that. It's scary and crazy, and It's hard. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is very easy to be critical though from the couch.
It is.
It's like all anybody in Seattle ever did, because it's all they had, the welders in Seattle. They talk about Seahawks all the time, and they were always very angry at Marshawn Lynch. I'm not sure why. Anyway, but like they get really up in arms about it, like it's their whole life. And it's cool because it does bring people together, and it gave them something to do other than be stuck in the dirty welding like hangout room, being like, well, here we are again. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. And it does, it brings people together.
Yeah.
And that part's nice. Like, remember when the Spurs won their first title?
Yes, I remember that. I absolutely remember that because you remember my friend Melinda. Melinda came and to the house. I think I remember going off, and people were honking their horns.
Yeah.
Was I with you? Maybe it was with you. I don't remember. I thought I was with Melinda.
I was in a car, and I know my older sister was in the car.
I definitely wasn't with you then.
Okay.
But yeah, like the whole town was like, yeah!
It was awesome. It felt
It was
like
amazing.
everybody's friends. We're all happy and celebrating something together. Like, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
That's what I think we all need more of.
Yeah.
But then, like, only one team gets to win the championship. So,
Yeah.
but
I
still,
was really happy for the Dodgers, let me say. I mean, like from all the letdowns they had, getting so close to the finals and finally making the World Series and actually winning it this time. Because it was only last year where it all went away and Kershaw just had a really bad game. It happens. And I just remember seeing him on that bench with his head down, and like I cried a little because I was just like, I know that must have hurt. Like letting his city down, letting his teammates down.
oof.
It was just a bad game. But like everybody was like pouring into his account and just like, Kerchoke and just saying all these awful things. And I'm like, I just felt so bad for the guy. So when they finally won after all these years since 1988, and it's just like,
Wow.
yes, it was a good feeling. It was a good feeling, and I was just to celebrate that. I don't know.
I didn't know it had been that long since they won.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty exciting.
One of these days it'll be the Browns. Jerry says hopefully in his lifetime.
They're doing relatively well this season.
Yeah.
I feel like the Browns haven't been like one of the big teams to follow like in ever. I mean, not which it's always the same kind of teams like the Patriots, it feels like, have been good forever, and the 49ers, I feel like, have been good for a while.
I think they're pretty happy with Mayfield, and like because there's been times where they had to coaches in and out, and then quarterbacks in and out, and so now that they have Mayfield, I think they're finally like starting to stabilize and really build their team, and so
That's
hopefully
exciting.
Jerry would be like, I can't even tell you. Like he'll probably cry. I remember ESPN came out with that special episode called Dreamland. I think
Oh.
kind of like Cleveland, but it was like
Oh,
Dreamland.
okay.
And like I remember Jerry watching it. I looked over and I think there was like a little tear.
Oh.
Because I mean, like they for so long wanted to win, and they just.
Yeah.
I mean, like the love of football. I mean, he loves football. He's like a football. I lose my husband every fall because football. Just.
I didn't know he was that into it.
I mean,
Oh.
like he'll. Yeah. Well,
And
we
the
have
Browns.
like Jack's. flag football game, and he's got his football game playing on, he's like
He's that guy.
watching, but he's also listening to his game, and it's just like, oh my God.
That's just like my grandfather was with the Longhorns. Like he's that guy too. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Man, that's all. I would love to see that. Have they ever won a Super Bowl or gone to the Super Bowl?
The-
Like,
yeah, they did, but it was 19. Well, they didn't win a Super Bowl. It was a championship, I think, like a 1964. Was it?
I don't know.
And I'm sorry, I'm not from Cleveland.
There's someone who's
Calm
so mad.
down. I know. Calm down.
We're very positive on the Browns. I like
think-
them.
I think it was like somewhere in there that they won like a championship. They won the Super Bowl, but that's when the Browns moved to Baltimore. And
Oh,
they ended up winning it all. And like everyone in Cleveland were just like heartbroken.
that sucks. I didn't know did they move to Baltimore and then come back, or did they move there and like become the Ravens? And
Yeah, they went there, and then I forgot. I mean, it was like that whole part in Dreamland.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm asking you all these really specific questions after you already said you didn't know.
yeah. Like we like that movie. We'll probably watch it today. Now that I think about it, Draft Day with what's his name? Costner.
Oh, Draft Day? I don't
Mhm.
even know if I've heard of that. Is it a more recent movie?
Yeah, like within the last 5-10 years.
Gosh, I haven't heard of very many new movies lately.
It's a football movie. It's good. You
Day.
might like it. You like football?
I do like
Probably.
football. Draft Day. I'm not gigantically into Kevin Costner,
Okay.
but I'm
If
not
you like,
anti him, you know?
like if good sports movies that I love are, I would say Moneyball is definitely number one for me.
That was a good one.
I love Moneyball. That one and Draft Day's just good in it. That's good entertainment. Whether it's realistic or not, I don't know, but
I don't know. I want to be taken on an adventure now. Like I kind of really prefer the non-realistic. Just make everything great. I know how this stuff is going. I just want to go somewhere. Anyway, like there's this movie called Jojo Rabbit. Have you seen that come up? I didn't mean to look at your dog like your dog was awful. I looked at your dog and I thought of the movie and the
Jojo Rabbit.
yeah, but it starts off like hilarious and darkly funny. And then it has a moment that was so dark and so sad that I made Eric turn it off and I didn't want to finish it. But up until that point, it was funny. It's about a boy who has an imaginary friend, and his imaginary friend is Hitler. But his imaginary friend Hitler's a little bit gay and a little bit stupid. And so it's pretty funny. All of that stuff before it's like, hey, remember, this is still the Holocaust and we're still talking about Hitler, and stuff got really real and really sad. And I hated that. That's why I and then Eric says, well, yeah, this is what it was probably like, real life. And I don't want the real life. I just wanted the imaginary friend. I'm watching a movie. I want to be taken on an adventure, not reminded of the Holocaust. Granted, it was a movie about Hitler, but I thought it was going to be all goofy. I did not like that movie. It's like when I saw Jesus Christ Superstar and all the lights came up and people left, and I still thought he was going to be resurrected. Just ends with him being dead. Such a bummer. Anyway.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of uplifting movies.
I think Love Actually is I mean,
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a weepy, it makes me cry, but like in that, oh.
Yeah.
This
You might like Draft Day. That's a good uplifting movie.
Blindside. I love that movie.
Oh yeah. That is a good one. That's a good one.
I think that's and it's based on a true story and it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So all around.
Surprised we haven't watched that in forever. I think we have it on DVD. Like we have all these movies on DVD, that just like gather dust and they're just forgotten on a lonely bookshelf. So it's
Ours
like
too. Like,
everything streams, so it's just like direct access, and it's just like I don't know.
I know. It's so weird how that industry and like the record industry just sort of evaporated overnight. Like it was Blockbuster is the thing everywhere, and then they're just gone. That was such a cool part of like the weekend, like going to
Yes.
Blockbuster, and it never occurred to me that things like that and like live concerts and buying CDs would ever be different, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Now you just pay a subscription and you can stream any amount of artists you want. So
But like the artists, there's no way they're getting paid enough, right? Like,
I don't
does
know.
YouTube pay all of the people that it has? Like, I can listen to anything I want pretty much on YouTube, and I'm not paying for it.
I
So
think
is
it's
you?
all about advertisers and followers, isn't it? Didn't we have this discussion? I don't.
Yeah.
It was something about the amount of followers they have. I have no idea how it works.
It
But
was
I
some.
imagine, like, even with Spotify, it's probably the amount of followers or likes or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we totally did talk about it. And it was more like it was about how are they making money off of just likes and followers. And yeah, it's more about attention and buying shares of your attention and stuff now, which I don't get how that translates into money. But then will money go away? I don't know. I was reading, oh, this is so cool. My mom brought me all of these old books and letters from her grandparents, and some of them
Mhm.
date back to like the 17 and 1800s. Are you?
Yeah, sorry, I'm cold. I'm here.
You're like trying to sneak away. It's like I can totally see you.
17, 1800s. That's interesting. Sorry. So she brought over all these letters. Sorry, I grabbed the blanket. I was really, really cold.
It's okay. Um, yeah, it was all these letters and like papers from her mom's mom. And then her dad's sister had done all of this like genealogy and traced the family tree back to Sweden in like 1750. And there's this letter someone wrote back to Sweden from Texas in 18 like 70 something, and
Mhm.
there's all these weird different things of currency, like we had to buy a kilo of flour for some krugel or thing I've never heard of. And it was just weird to think about how holy shit, like they didn't even have money yet. They were probably using Swedish currency. I don't know.
Oh.
And they talked about in the letter, like, all their kids and how they have 7 kids, so they had to forego sugar for the entire winter because they couldn't afford it or else they would starve. I'm like, "Jesus, that's
Hmm.
so amazing to think about what those people went through." And now I'm like, "But my phone is taking forever." They're like, "Well, no sugar or else one of us might die." It's just
Yeah.
it's very interesting.
I'm like processing the point of what will currency look like in the future. If that's how it was for them only like what 200 years ago, then
Mhm. I don't
hmm,
know, because people like, there's Bitcoin, which I think I never got into it, but it's a thing, and then there's, like, Amazon Coin, I think. I see an ad for it every now and then. So, all these some places have started trying to create their own currency, so that you buy that and then spend that within their little sort
isn't
of
that the same as like credit cards though?
I don't I don't know very much about it because 'cause I've never
Hmm.
used any alternative currency.
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I
Interesting.
don't think it's like credit cards because you get, like, a Bitcoin account, and then people can pay you Bitcoin for, like, services and products, or I think you can buy them with money or, like, exchange money for Bitcoins, but then you can only buy other things where they accept Bitcoin, and I don't know, you're just limited in the products that you can
Yeah.
buy and the people that you can do business with because not everybody uses it.
Bitcoin. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Money's weird. I'm so bad with money too. Oof. I I don't know. I don't like it. It just makes people do crazy things, it seems like. And people will do things at all costs for money and sacrifice, things that should be more important, I think. But
Yeah.
it's almost like the deity of the nation. The deity.
Well, it's America. It's like capitalism, you know.
I know, consumerism.
Yeah.
Like, cause what is I wish it should be American culture is the blend of like Mexican Americans, Swedish Americans, Norwegians, French, African, everybody who's come here. But it's really more just America's like consume. It's like, fast food and strip malls. I don't know. Do we have a culture? Well, we got
Do we
football.
have a soul? I don't even think so.
Oh,
Uh, like, I'm like, sorry. I'm such a bummer. You're
Merry
like,
Christmas.
sorry. No, I mean, like, because we haven't like reconciled all this stuff that we did to indigenous people, even to this day. It's like, if you want to make things right, start there. Um,
What
because I
do
feel
we,
like
should they give them like I mean,
land
give
back.
them land back? But like so many of them are gone. I don't know. I think you could probably start at a bare minimum with like you guys have health coverage for whatever you need for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I just yeah, it's yeah,
And like a universal basic income, at least for them, is some sort of reparations.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like kind of like in Christianity, how it's just like if you, I don't know, like trying to, make right what was wrong and reconciliation and to restore your soul or kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like America has a lot of work to do. So
Yes.
I'm not saying we don't have a soul. I think we really need to work on it. There's a lot of things that we could do better at. So
Totally. That's what I still kind of hope people will be more aware of after all this COVID time and kind of after the Trump years, because we found out that there's a lot more going on that like I didn't know there was that much. Like the KKK has a newspaper and they came out in support of Donald Trump as president. Like, oh, I didn't know they had a newspaper. Like there's a group of people that's that angry at these people just because of their skin color. Like, wow, we need to deal with that. And there's there's a lot that we need to reconcile with and that we need to handle that's not going to be really pleasant, I don't think.
I don't think so. I
It's
don't know how the next few years are going to be, tell you honestly. You got half of America who thinks that the election was stolen. So, and now they're kind of like going off the mainstream to things like Parlor and whatever. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of scary to think that we can't even talk to each other. That whole isolating,
yeah.
and that's really scary, especially in this time when we're, you know, locked into our homes. Kind of. I mean, people are still going out, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's just different.
It's
And
so
I feel like,
different.
yeah, the information that's shared, whether it's flawed or not, or false or not, I don't know. I don't know, but I just feel like we got a lot of work to do. Let's restore the soul of
I
the country.
see. But we got to start with like accepting that like we got a lot of stuff to work on. And I don't know, I don't think that the new president is going to magically fix everything, but it does make me feel positive and encouraged that he said it's time for us to heal. Like, okay, good. So the guy in charge knows this is a thing and he's at least that's what he's choosing to say to everybody. I don't have a reason to think he's full of crap right now. So I want to see what happens. I don't know.
A guy who sprains his foot playing with his big old dog. I mean, he sounds like a good guy. It's like
Sprained his foot?
he sprained his foot apparently. I
Oh,
think playing with his dog. That dog is massive.
I've seen it. My mom sent me a whole bunch of pictures. Look, Biden's a dog lover. So,
I know. It's just like he's gotta be a good guy. I mean, if he's out playing with his dog or however I don't know, spend time with his dog and he sprains it. It's just like, okay, I feel like it's relatable. I feel like with
yeah.
Trump, it was not. Like every picture I saw, his family were just really like from top to bottom, well put together and just I don't know, they were very business minded. I mean, that's part of the reason why so many people voted for him because he wasn't like a lifelong politician.
Yeah.
And but it's different. It just
It didn't, it panned out to be not relatable. Yeah. Because, yeah. There was
wow.
just a real sort of like marble, rigid kind of coldness I feel like to
Yeah.
all of the pictures of the sitting president and his family. Just whereas I don't, there's definitely more of a hey, I'm your grandpa by the fireplace kind of
Yeah.
feel to Joe Biden. I don't know.
Yeah.
But am I just buying the image that they're showing me? I don't know. I can't think about it too much in any direction because I'll unravel it and then start believing in the hollow earth theory and a bunch of other stuff because just I don't know what's true and what's not. Mhm. I saw that picture of Giuliani with that crap running down his face. He looks like a
Oh
crazy person. He looks that's so disappointing because I liked him back in like 2001 or whatever. He looks
yeah. 9/11
super
happened
crazy.
and he like yeah.
Has he just gone crazy? Because he's older now.
Yeah.
My grandpa was pretty wacky when he was older.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think they're trying to disbar him.
Are they?
I think.
Ugh.
I don't know. I don't keep up. He was on the headlines. He had a good week of headlines, but after that, it's just like, man.
It was crazy how fast stuff disappears from the news cycle now.
Hmm.
Gosh. There have been really important hot issues I feel like that came up and I don't even know what they are now. What do you
I was trying to push back the cushion. I'm like, why isn't this cushion moving? It's because my dog's right behind it.
Oh,
So I'm trying to get comfortable. I've been sitting on this cushion, and so I wanted to get down on the floor so I could stretch.
ah. I read this article about people who transitioned their whole office to being on the floor.
Hmm. Yeah, I
It was
watched
interesting.
it's a couple. I don't know where they're from, but they were uh, he was I guess a soccer player. I don't know, and him and his I guess partner they always had a desk, and he said, you know, it even though he stretched, it just didn't. It he kind of because he was out of his sport and so he wasn't taking care of himself, so they decided to transition to working on the floor and took out the extra furniture and all of that stuff, and he's doing much better and because he's able to stretch out his Achilles, you know, by
Yeah.
squatting and stuff like that, and
I
so
think that it had to be about the same guy, the thing I read, because it was
Asian.
there. I don't know. I don't think it's specified. If
Okay.
there were it was just an article I read, and there were no
Oh,
pictures, and
that's-
just what I took away from it was someone had been some kinda athlete, and he was having some trouble, and it was more comfortable for him to lay on the floor, so the family
yeah,
just said, "Let's just transition to all of us being on the floor," and they all found that it was way better, like, and they were
yeah,
way more comfortable. That
yeah.
has that seems like it would be the same person.
Yeah, it's really yeah,
Huh.
because it came up on my I don't know how I found it, but I thought it was really interesting. So they were minimalists and they didn't have anything really. So they were just looking to so anyway. Kinda
That's
cool.
that is very cool. That's very cool. I don't know. If I would totally do that, well, except for our dog.
We don't really use our dining room table. And it's just
Really?
like, maybe we should just take it out. What would we do if we just took out the dining room table? And it's just like it could be a multi-purpose room.
Yeah. It could
Or that's
really
basically what it is. The dining room has become kind of the multi-purpose room. We call it the camera room because like when I get all my gear out or clean it, like I use the dining room table. Jada uses the dining room table for all her crafts, and
so it's sort of like the work art space almost.
yeah, yeah. It's not really meant for
Like,
dining, I guess.
yeah. That's so funny. My parents had the same thing the whole time I was growing up. They had a pretty nice dining table and the dining space, but I don't think we ever used it. We always sat at that kitchen, like breakfast nook area.
Yeah, yeah.
It was, I
Really.
think it was the idea was that it was very formal in our house and that we would use it when we got the china out. And I don't think we ever got oh no, she would get it out at Christmas. My mom had Christmas china. I think that was about
Yeah,
it.
I make it a point now to use that china. I'm like, otherwise we should just get rid of it. And
On
so
your Mondays, right?
yeah, so for Mondays we use it, our fancy Mondays, and then of course Easter and Christmas.
Oh,
So
that's awesome. I don't even have fancy china. We don't even have matching dishes.
well, like I feel like you can't see me, so I'm gonna turn on my light. And is that any better? I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason why I have fancy china is because of my parents, really. So,
Ah,
sorry.
it's funny how I'll lean over. Like if I do that, I can see what you're doing.
It's
Oh,
my little
gosh.
my little cube.
How much stuff do you have? Is it like 2 bags? Do you have like suitcases and bags like when you're taking your gear places?
Oh, well, I have like 2 bags. It all depends what I need. For a regular like event photography, I usually just bring 2 bags and a light stand. Um, but if it's like a studio setup, like I gotta kind of bring a lot more stands,
Those big
more,
lights
yeah,
and
soft boxes and the modifiers and stuff. Yeah.
goodness, it's so crazy how much goes into that. And then it's like you see the picture of the family and you're like, they look so perfect and so great. Like with our little Olin Mills pictures and stuff.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there's so much crap that went into making it look like that, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the authentic stuff for sure. And the messy, because life
Yeah.
is messy.
I try to do a blend of it now where it is candid, but it more intentional on the lighting. I don't know how to describe it. So,
But what's your favorite kind of thing to do? Just doing candid shots of like a wedding or
oh no. Oh no, not weddings. But
no?
I mean like what I would imagine a perfect shoot to be where I hang out with a family or a person. We just hang out for a few hours and they do their thing and I'm just kind of there and kind of like a their own little journalist. And I just
Yeah.
capture things as they play out in front of me. And I have my camera equipment or lighting equipment, a minimal amount, and just take pictures.
Have you
Uh,
done jobs like where you've gotten to do it like that?
Not a lot now. I tend to freak out last
Mhm.
minute on that approach because it is kind of on a timeline. It's like, I only have an hour with this person. I don't have the luxury of just sitting around waiting for something spectacular to happen. So you kind of have to manufacture it where it's
Yeah.
just like, okay, sit here, pose like this, let me get the lights right, and then I'll capture your image. So
Yeah.
But like, I think a perfect one would be where, as an artist, you spend time with the subject and you study the environment ahead of time to see what the light's going to look like at what time of day, and then like you shoot for that.
It's almost like they're a little wildlife creature family. Right? Kind
Yeah,
of maybe where because you're getting
yeah,
a feel for like who they are and how they operate. Yeah. I don't know.
yeah.
Because I was going to ask you if you ever wanted to do wildlife photography, because that seems very exciting and really crazy.
I think that would be cool, but I don't. I get like squeamish on the creepy crawlies.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah, I did a shoot with a family in the park, and I was like in the bushes amongst all these like fallen leaves. It's the fall here in Virginia, so a lot of leaves had already fallen. There's a bunch of dead branches, and I'm like crouching down trying to take their image, and suddenly I look down at my thigh and this huge spider's on me. And I'm like,
Oh,
uh, and I can't like go out and panic and scream bloody
oh,
murder.
yeah.
So I'm just like, wipe. And I'm like, nope. So, but
Ooh.
it happens. So
Okay. So you'd probably run
wildlife
into that.
photography would just be, I don't know. I don't have the,
It seems like it could be cool, like going out and camping with the gorillas for like a week so that you become like an accepted part of their little tribe and getting pictures of them doing all their day to day gorilla things.
yeah.
But then it's really dangerous because if they ever wake up and they're like, hey, or if there was a predator, I don't know. There's so much crap like that we are disconnected from. I'm so glad that I don't have to worry about like predators and big spiders. We found a black widow spider in our backyard.
Oh my gosh.
It was big too. It was like that big around.
What?
And it was plain as day, like that little
With
red.
hourglass?
Uh-huh. It
Really?
was not mistakable. Yeah. And it was right by the back door of our house.
Oh my gosh.
And I still felt I killed it. And I felt bad doing it, but I figured with the kids and the dog that that could be really bad. And I don't know. If it's the spider in me, the spider has to go. It was big.
That is a big spider. I don't think I've ever seen one that big.
I'd always thought they were pretty tiny. I don't
Yeah.
know why,
The ones that I've seen are pretty small.
but I didn't like that. So,
Texas, go big or go home, right?
uh-huh. One day when we had the kids out, I think at the green belt, like we were walking on a trail next to the water, this
Mhm.
one of those red, yellow, the coral snakes.
Oh
They
yeah.
say red on black for red on yellow. It was the red on yellow because I did the little rhyme. It just went across the path, and we were like, "Oh shit!" And it just went into the woods, and we kept going. But it was just really crazy to be like, "That's it right there. That thing could kill all of us." Whoa,
Yeah.
that's crazy, and they're just out there in the woods. I don't know. It's gonna be really different if I end up in a scenario where I have to live in a tent, and I don't maybe you get used to it quickly, but ugh,
I don't know. I don't have
not
the stomach for it. I'm
huh?
like, oh, I don't have the stomach for it. I'm like, maybe I'm too much of a city girl now. So
I don't it seems like it would be hard for anyone to not become squeamish if you live in America, because like, who really is connected with nature anymore? I guess if you live on a farm, but, like, the suburbs and stuff, there's no bugs, you just kill bugs that wanna come in your house, or most people do. Anyway, my brain feels really stupid today.
you're fine. I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Is that
There's no real like formality to this, right? I mean, we
No,
don't
not
have to
at
be like
all.
learned scholars and
No, not at
I
all.
think this and
But therefore, I have evaluated as such that it may be, so it were.
uh,
Pardon me.
We watched what was it last night? We watched I know the name. It was the Beatles thing, Across the Universe.
Oh,
You remember that?
I've never actually watched it. I remember it coming out.
Yeah, Jerry had never watched it. I was like, you never watched this? I feel like it was kind of big when it came out.
Maybe I was in the Navy or something, but I remember it coming out. I
Yeah,
just never saw it. Is
yeah,
it good?
yeah. Eddie Izzard's in there.
Really?
Yeah, he has a song in there. It was yeah, it had its psychedelic moments, but yeah, yeah,
Eddie Izzard sings a song?
yeah. He sings a song.
Whoa, what song does he sing? Do
I
you
don't know because I fast. I fast forward. Well,
Was it
Jada
that?
was in the room. It was a little creepy. There's big puppets, and I don't know.
Oh, okay, like
So
that, okay.
yeah, so there's a couple like where it's kind of like when you were the kid and you're watching Dumbo, and there you had that whole Salvador Dali moment
Mm.
in Dumbo. Do you remember that?
Uh, I just remember the part where Dumbo was sad because of the
You
mon
don't
and
remember the whole psychedelic sequence
I
in
don't
there?
know.
With
No.
all those tiny pink elephants everywhere. They were like
Oh,
inspired by Salvador Dali.
the
And
pink elephants, I do remember that.
yes, and there's just weirdness. Yeah, so there's a moment across the universe.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
where it gets a little psychedelic.
sometimes that
So
can get a little spooky for me for me.
yeah.
Like
Well,
the
Richard was here, so I was like, fast forward.
That's fair enough. Like their Magical Mystery Tour album, it's a little much for me because it's the super psychedelic and they're wearing weird costumes. It's got the I Am the Walrus, that weird song on it.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
like
it,
it. Yeah.
you like that song? I never really listened to it, and Eric played it a few days ago, maybe a few weeks ago, and he said some of the lyrics, and I was like, it's so weird, and it's just I don't know. It's conceptually adventurous. It's not my cup of tea, though. It, it's just too weird. I don't know. It gives me a really specific, like, unpleasant feeling.
Hmm.
Just very disturbed. I don't even know how to describe it.
Disturbed, like like I like in the movie for I Am the Walrus, they kind of have it where it's like you almost lose control, like you're just spinning out, and like you feel like you're on this psychedelic trip with them. So
Hmm. I don't mind the going on a trip part. It's when it becomes a little bit scary.
hmm.
Then once it feels a little bit scary to me, then it just feels very scary all the way around. It's almost like if I open that door to the scary stuff, it all comes in.
So kind of like paranoia.
Well, maybe more like that tendency my brain has to spiral in a direction.
Hmm.
So if I can just keep it occupied with other thoughts like, "Hey, this is happy brain. Oh yeah, I'm having fun." As soon as that little, but wait, remember what's over behind this door? Then it's like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
the thoughts spiral in that direction, and then all the other upsetting things jump along, and it's
Yeah,
just being flooded with thoughts and feelings that I don't like.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes any sense.
No, it does. It does.
It feels like there are a lot of things that I don't even really have the right words for, you know? Like they're very specific feelings, and I don't know. Words like disturbed don't quite describe it. Anyway,
Hmm.
that was very helpful, wasn't it?
No, no,
It's
no,
very
no, no.
clear.
No, it's good to confront your how you feel. Sometimes it is kind of hard to describe though.
Mhm. Yeah.
I was in a funk the other day where it was just like I was like super sad. I just we had to go stop by a friend's house, and the garage door wasn't working, so I was just sad. I don't know, I was just kind of bummed out. Jack wasn't here. Didn't see mom for Thanksgiving, and I don't know. I don't know. And it was maybe it was hormonal. I was tired. Who knows? I was just I don't know, I definitely felt. Hmm.
Ever since my dad passed on the 20th, weirdly the same day. That's so crazy. But the funk for the holidays kind of starts around Thanksgiving every year for me. And then my
Mm.
grandmother died on Thanksgiving Day. So it's like it kind of that kind of starts it. I've been feeling really sad too, but just because it was like the first Sunday in Advent. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening for me. And I'm just noticing how he's not present. And
Mm.
I really want it to be like a great Christmas for everybody. And Christmas was always my favorite time of year. And now it's so sad too. So it's just like trying to honor that feeling and that thing that happened and not let it own everything. But sometimes it feels really big. And I don't know. I was wondering if like you could definitely relate to that because
Yeah, I like thankfully like his grave site's not too far. It's like 20, 30 minutes down the road. So, going to see him is nice. Maybe I don't know. Am I just kind of I feel like yeah, that honoring his memory, but I try not to like fixate on his, mortality
yeah.
itself, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I try not just some days that like yesterday, I think it was just it felt like the day after the memorial service, it felt really fresh and that was the best way I could tell Eric. But it's like if you haven't been through it, there's no way to really explain how that feels to somebody. But it was so weird how very right now it all felt. Yeah, it feels a little more like normal today, but it's like that every year in the Christmas season.
Mm.
So I don't know. I wish I could just forget that piece of it. But then it would be like forgetting him because
Yeah.
part of what made it so great was that was when my dad was finally chill. Like when the last Christmas service was over, he was finally like relaxed dad and he would be very sort of childlike and playful and not as stressed out and it was great for everybody and I love Christmas and
Yeah.
sucks that he's not here. But then it is what it is. I don't know. But then it's never uh it's so weird.
Yeah.
I'm trying
I
not to cry really hard cuz I miss him.
I
I'm
get it.
sorry.
I know, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean,
When
yeah,
yeah.
he was just very Christmas, everything that we did about Christmas was at the church, and he was the preacher, and just
So
miss
many
that.
people like, enjoy their holidays with their family and yeah, especially if you've lost a loved one, you think about those traditions
Yeah,
at the Thanksgiving meal and my dad would always wear like his vest, his holiday vest, and it had holly on it. And Jerry has it now, but makes me think about it. And it's just I can I definitely understand like how the holidays just aren't the same because that person's gone. Those memories, you can't recreate it, but maybe just try being in the moment that you're in now and celebrating the family that surround you now, the friends that you have. We get to see each other every week, which is
yeah,
amazing.
it
Um,
is.
and just grasp onto that there's so much to live for still.
Totally. I know. And I do think about like that's what I really really try to shift to when I start to get lost in my porridge of grief, because then when I'm lost, it takes away from this here. And this is the most stable and the happiest my life has really like ever been. And that's so much to be grateful for. There's the huge piece where it's like, I don't know what we're going to do for money, but right now, like where we are right now, we're okay. We have what we need. We have our Christmas tree. We're warm. We have food. Like, there's so much to be thankful for. And I have a relationship with my family again that's actually pretty healthy and pretty well connected. Like saw them at Thanksgiving, and we can talk to each other and it's not contentious and it's nice and we can enjoy each other, and that's such a gift. And there is such a big important, it feels really important to me to do something to like carry it on,
Yeah. And just because you're enjoying those moments, it doesn't mean that you're dismissing your dad or the memory of him, because he's right along there too. He impacted their lives too, and in a special way, you're sharing his legacy by gathering together. So
Yeah. I really hope that when we like die or move on to the next place, that it's like getting on the other side of a two-way mirror where it's like, oh, okay, now I understand what was going on. I didn't need to be so grief stricken that whole time. Because it's so weird how they're just like not here. And how that's the nature of life for all of us. And that happens for everybody. And it's just weird.
yeah.
I don't know. This is where I could easily get lost in my porridge of grief, because I'll conclude that what's the point of any of it if you just die in the end anyway? It's so easy for me to get there, but I just have to decide like every day, like I know what that feels like, and that feels like shit. And then I don't want to think that way anymore. It might be blind, foolish optimism, but I believe in the best in people. Because and I've seen people do it. Like I like to watch the Great British Baking Show the moment where the person wins because they're so happy.
Yeah.
And it makes me cry because I'm like, I'm so happy they're happy. And then there's a part of The Deadliest Catch where they save this other dude's life and where he's hugging the captain, just saying, you saved my life.
Yeah.
And it's this beautiful moment of they don't know him and they risk their lives for him and he's alive because of them. And
Yeah.
they're rough and tumble, screw you, I'll screw you over, but I love you, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just, you see in that moment, like you're still human and you're still a loving, wonderful person at the end of the day. And I think that's there for everybody.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah. I
Anyway.
feel like there is a cycle. I mean, even our ancestors believed, whether we were trying to reason with our own mortality or just being mystic, I think there is like a cycle to everything. I mean, just nature itself shows a cycle. I feel like I believe that this all comes together. Like, we might just be little drops in the ocean, not to sound really cliche, but I mean, I feel like in the big picture, like we all play a part, and you know it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And I think your dad is really proud of you, and he just wanted to see you happy.
Yeah.
And you know
Mhm. I wonder a lot if he would be proud, because I know I didn't do everything the way he wanted me to do it, you know?
yeah.
And he didn't always agree with my choices. And I mean, I get it, but I had to travel on whatever crazy journey I had to end up here. And I don't know, I look back on it all from what feels like some more sure footing. And I wonder, like, I don't know, I wonder, like, what
I
our
think
relationship would be like.
he's such a good man. Like, he was so forgiving and loving. I could never see him ever judging you or anybody really. I mean, unless you rooted for the other team, like as far as like not the same football team. No, not even then. um, no, I mean, he had a large capacity to love. And I think you do too. And so much of your family does that.
Yeah.
So, wow, sorry. I'm trying not to cry.
Sorry.
No. It's holidays are hard. It can be
Right.
really hard for people. And, that's why I'm saying, like, hold fast to the ones you love and the ones who are here because, tomorrow's not guaranteed. And I just feel like that people can't lose hope. They have to keep pushing for tomorrow because even when you feel overwhelmed, and I mean, like, it scares me to death when I think of my own family and my kids, especially Jack, and how hard it is for him at such an early age to have to go back and forth all the time, and then how that affects him. And I just keep reminding him it's just like it's not always going to be like this. This is just a moment. This is just one moment, and you just have to make the best of it because and sometimes it's going to suck and you're not always going to want to do things that you want to do, but I think in the grand scheme you you have these moments in time to make choices to honor, to love, and respect others, and I think you can't lose hope in that, and you just got to keep fighting for the good.
Yeah.
So,
Like that'll keep putting one foot in front of the other on that same path. Feels like
yeah,
even when like hail and beating down on you and animals are clawing at your face, you deal with it and you have to keep going. Yeah.
and
That's-
it's yeah, and it's such a shitty time for so many people who either lost somebody or lost their jobs or is like wondering where they're going to be, you know, in a week, in a few days, when after they get evicted, and it's just like. And so I know some of my words might seem empty, but I think there's a huge capacity for people to love one another, to give when they're able, and to do the right thing. Yeah.
there totally is. Like we lose it feels like we lose sight of it when we don't see the person, like when you're in your car. It's so easy to yell at that person, but if when I as soon as I talk to my neighbor who I'm so mad at for parking like and blocking a little bit of our driveway and making it so hard to back out all the time. Like when I see them in the yard playing with their kids, like working on this thing they're building around their flower bed, and they're like, "Hey, good morning." I'm like, "I'm such an asshole." Like they're my neighbors. It's not that big of a deal. It's so quickly how that stuff goes away when you remember this as a person and you see them like being a human. And I don't know. I really hope we can all be with people again one day. Like I get it. We got to be careful, but I don't know. I miss people.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a big driving force behind everyone feeling so divided right now. Is just we've forgotten how that we're human and that the person on the other end of the computer is just doing their best and they have every reason for feeling like they do and they're just as mad at you. And if we could just talk about it maybe you think the same thing and you just miscommunicated. That happens all the time in our house where we just don't talk the same way about things and realize after we've been fighting that we actually are on the same page. And then that feels really stupid. But it just takes us talking to each other. And it makes me so sad when people are so mean to each other. Oh, like, oh,
Yeah.
I've cried when there was a guy in like an Appalachian State football game, but he was a college guy having his big moment running the ball in the end zone, and then he fumbled it. And he didn't stop crying for the rest of the game. And it like broke my heart for this guy. Like, oh, it's just ugh. And people were being so mean to him, for blowing it. Like that would have won the game for them.
It kind of reminded me of that Kershaw moment.
Yeah.
And it was the Army Navy game a few years back because the Navy always won. And it was like, I think, I forgot. I remember watching it, and the senior from the Army team was just crying. And I mean, that imagery of like a soldier that is, West Point, come on. I mean, they're like, talk about like a pillar of strength, and he's crying down at the 50-yard line. Anyways, but we're all human, doesn't matter where we came from. We're all human. We have human experiences, and we need to just be more compassionate.
Yeah. Well, this is really nice how we're both feeling so great about everything. I'm sorry. I totally started all of this. Like, let's talk about my dad.
Partly responsible too, because I was saying I had a bummer day the other day. But I mean, I don't know. I feel better that we talked about it, because when you are having those moments, you definitely feel isolated and you don't know how you're going to get through it. And it's just like, I slept. I mean, I don't know. It was just, it bums me out not to see my son. And I'm going to say it for the record, because I'm so afraid that all the time he's gone, he thinks that I really miss him. Oh. So, shit. Sorry.
It's okay. Like, you're human.
Yeah.
And you love your son.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, and it's, we're completely amicable in how we handle Jack, and so it's just hard,
Yeah.
But and that's where that bummer day came. It's just, I was just in that moment. Holidays without family is hard.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
Like, I hate for people to feel bad so much, and it sucks when there's no like solution, when it's just the thing you have to go through because it's what you're doing and it's the best thing that you can do, and it just sucks because you want to do something. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. It'll all get better.
It will all get better. It'll definitely all get better. It has been a shit crazy stressful, like, for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we get to talk.
You're still glad?
I am. It's just like the silver lining to 2020 is that I get to talk to you every week.
I know. Yay.
Like, I'm not even trying to be silly about it.
I'm so glad. I'm always worried that I'm still writing the best friendship and that maybe you're outgrowing it. But it's made me so happy.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna say something cheerful. I need your opinion, and I hope you don't judge me as a parent. But
Oh boy.
we I love Family Guy, and we don't watch it often because of the content in there. It's not very family friendly.
Y'all.
But we recently started watching it with Jada, and
Really?
she laughs. A lot of it goes over her head though too, and I know that was probably not the best show to watch around her.
Is she
But I
repeating
just,
a bunch of stuff now or something?
huh?
Is she repeating a bunch of stuff
No,
now or something?
no, no,
Oh,
she
okay.
she doesn't. But it's just such a I don't know. Sometimes you just need a freaking laugh, and like it's so just over the top sometimes.
It is. I like that show. I don't judge you at all for that. Like I've let Zoe watch SNL for probably years now. And
Yeah.
I don't know, one time Matt Damon did the monologue where he said, "When I was a little kid, my parents let me stay up way too late and watch all this inappropriate stuff. And it was awesome and it made me laugh. And it's one of my favorite memories. So here's to all the parents who do all the wrong things for all the right reasons." And I loved that because I mean, there's nothing mean spirited about something like Family Guy. Like, if you were showing her stuff like, I don't know, Faces of Death or really violent, gory stuff, it would be like, I don't know about that. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And every family and every kid is different, you know?
Different.
So it's
Yeah.
really only up to you to judge. But like, we've watched
Yeah.
that with Zoe, like
It's
before
funny.
now.
Yeah, when a bad word does come up, her eyes get like saucers, and she like slowly looks across the room like like looks at me like, is this okay? I was like, you know what a bad word is? Just don't repeat it.
That's exactly about that age, probably 7 is when we would do that with Zoe because
Yeah.
I was figured you're old enough now to where you know that that's a bad word and not to use it. Because
Yeah.
I showed her some South Park episodes, probably a little early. Like the Mormon episode and the Scientology one,
I haven't seen that one.
they're pretty funny. Just a very ridiculous but pretty accurate description of what Mormons and Scientologists believe, but in South Park form.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, I mean, it's South Park. I love South Park. And yeah, those are pretty great. So yeah, I mean, like I've showed her that maybe before I should have. But you know, I was with her. It's not like,
Yeah.
hey, go watch South Park. We talked about it, you know. All right.
There was I remember the there we watched Airplane. Do you remember that movie Airplane?
Yeah.
We watched it with Jack. I think Jada was in the room, but she probably was off playing in her own little world. She wasn't really watching it. So it was
Yeah.
just really Jerry, Jack, and I. Jack was he's 9 or 10 at the moment, at the time. So it's pretty recently. And there's this quick scene.
I know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, with the
With the
jiggly,
boobies?
with the
Yes.
boobies. And I was just like, it was like dead silent. And I look over at Jack, and he's so embarrassed. He looks at me, and I'm like, I start cracking up. I scene. I completely forgot. And I was like, Jerry, do you remember that scene? Because I don't. Like,
Oh
I was
my
like, oh,
god.
Jack, he saw some breasts. We gave his dad a heads up. His dad had a good laugh too. And it's just like, just so you know, this popped up during the weekend. So it comes
That's so
up in conversation. That's what it's in context.
Oh, that's so funny. Maybe had you like maybe seen the TV edit version or something where it
Okay,
was
so my parents were the ones that actually like I got maybe it was a TV recording, and he paused the parts of Grease, the musical.
oh.
So when I watched Grease as an adult, I was like, I don't remember them parking and doing all that. Like,
Really?
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So I was like, that would explain why she's all mad at Kaneki. She thought she was pregnant. Like, I had no idea.
Wow.
So,
That's so interesting.
yeah. I didn't.
Huh.
I skipped that whole part. My parents censored that.
Wow.
So,
Did they censor other things too, maybe?
well, they
Like,
censored Grease. Other movies. Obviously, Airplane, because I don't
yeah.
remember that scene.
Seems like there'd be
Um,
some choice scenes to edit, like out of Dirty Dancing. But then
mm,
that movie was all around kind of risque.
hmm I think I was older by the time I saw that.
That's funny. Eric has told me many a tale about this friend that he had growing up whose parents were really, really odd, and they would pre edit every video that they watched so that all of the bad stuff was taken out.
Interesting.
That's really, but I think that they had taken it to a whole other level where they were dubbing over words and they had like special, because he was performing, in the band. So he knew a lot of sound equipment and was just in more of that entertainment world.
Really?
Yeah,
So you would do the voiceover instead of saying,
I think so. Instead of using one of the bad words. I'll have to ask him again, but he's talked about this person and how he would watch the movies over at
that's
his
like the
house.
Mr. Calling. They should be like working for a network doing all the bleeps.
They might be now. I don't know. I totally have to ask him to tell me that again.
I have to see milkshake. All right, I'll be there in like 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes.
You got 2 minutes? That's cool. Can you
Oh
still?
man, it's it already. Oh, that's right. We start off late. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah, we did. Okay. Because I was
I
like,
was
oh man, it's like noon 22 here. Crap.
noon 22.
Yes. Can you still talk on Friday?
hmm Yeah, yeah.
Yay!
A weight has been lifted. Like the file has gone to the printer, and it's just
Oh,
like, hey,
good.
I can carry on with my life. So, which means that you're up next, along with a painting that I need to finish up too. So I gotta
Cool.
get
Oh,
those
that's
all.
nice.
They're both started. Your stuff is started. Their painting gets started. I just need to finish it. So hopefully that's my task for this week. So Friday I should have something for you.
Awesome. Oh, I meant just like us chatting, but yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
yay. That's awesome. I'm so excited. I told my mom and my family you're doing the logo, and they were like, "That's so amazing! That's so perfect! Oh my god!" So yeah,
Oh, milkshake.
he's like such a
I feel
sweetie.
bad because I got these um organic cotton sanitary pads
Yeah.
because they're so soft, the bamboo cotton. Well, anyways, now I just use them as kind of like cleaning rags kind of
Oh
thing.
really?
Yeah. Um, we didn't really use them other than that. So FYI. So now Jada walks around with sanitary napkins.
Oh, okay.
So she just put a sanitary napkin on the cat. She's like, Pommy, look at Milkshake. And it's just, it
Okay.
was like, so in case Milkshake walked across camera and you see
Okay.
a cat with a sanitary
Okay.
napkin on its back. That's why.
That's silly milkshake.
But they're super soft.
So it's probably really great for him. Oh
Yeah.
my
So
god.
there it is.
Okay. Oh wow. Oh wow. Is it one that you're supposed to wash and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that
Yeah.
it had adhesive and it was sticking to the cat.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, it's like the bamboo cotton kind of. Anyways.
You are strangely fine with the way I imagined it. It's got all these pads stuck to him. Sorry.
So this should be your sponsor for today. Forgot. I think I ordered it off of Etsy. So,
Okay.
and any artisans who make bamboo cotton sanitary napkins, they're great for cleaning pads or burp cloths.
This is
Or
an excellent QVC promotion y'all have.
toy accessory, maybe installation for hats.
A teeny tiny get extra
Little
sunshade.
sweatband. I'll put it here. Be like a sweatband.
That is a stylish sweatband.
I feel like I'm gonna regret this moment down the road.
Oh, it's so worth it. Oh my god. I really thought that she was sticking sticky to your cat. And that he would just run around the house. That makes way more sense.
Let my child just play with any old sanitary napkin.
She's okay.
She's gonna be really confused later on. Be like, "What do you want me to do with this?"
Why did you let me do that with it? You put it on your face,
Why?
Mom. It was on your. You made it into a sweatband.
That's what this is for. My God.
Oh god. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad something funny happened. That reminds me of the bumper sticker I want to make that says pads are for pussies, then play rugby on the bottom. And thinking of the cat with it stuck to it would be a perfect little illustration.
I'm gonna have to make that. No, nobody heard what she just said. We're on it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna merch it. It's gonna be great.
I really want to. I've been talking about that one for a couple of years now. My mom even laughed when I told her. I was like, well, shoot, if my mom is laughing and she likes it, then we're good.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's a good one.
Thank you. Pussies. Yes. Play rugby. Oh my god. Okay.
Well, on that note, pads and pussies. We're gonna
You topped me saying dildo. Now I've said it again.
saying random, really inappropriate things. I don't know.
Sorry. Okay. Yes, this was very, very fun and very educational. Oh, well,
Well,
I guess I will talk to you again on Friday.
mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. I will let you go. Did you see that?
What are you doing?
I'm being a float in a parade that got too close to the window. Get it? I wanted to do that this whole time. It made me happy.
Awesome.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for your time. This was very fun. I never know how to end it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, I don't
Okay,
know.
I'll talk to you on Friday.
I've relied on you now too many times. Okay. I'll talk to you on Friday as well. Okay, bye. Bye.
Bye.